Grace and peace, everybody. We are back. You saw the thumbnail. You saw the title. You know what we're about to do. We've been doing this all week, so why break it up now? Why change? Why change? Anyway, we're going to, I don't know if she's going to go live, though. I don't know. It's Friday. Usually she takes off Friday. But anyway, I appreciate y'all stopping by. I do have some good content for us tonight. So thank you so much for stopping through. I appreciate you, Mr. B. This is number 6. Let's go. Absolutely. If you don't mind, share your like number when you hit the like button. Absolutely. Well, we got Caustic Chameleon up in here. We'll give you 5 minutes. Really? Was I late? I hope I wasn't late. I think I'm actually kind of early, I thought. I think I'm early. Get out of here. Y'all playing with me. All right, former employee. That always makes me suspicious of motives. Candace is a former employee too. Well played. Well played. I see what you did there. And shout out to everybody who's jumped up in here. What's going on? Ben up in the building. Good to see you, sir. Who we got? Lily of the Valley. I see you right there. Appreciate you. Waving back to you as well. What's going on? Karen Bryan, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you too, Carolyn. Thank you so much. Chrissy up in here. Thank you. Betsy B, Candace doesn't have a thumbnail posted yet for today. Like I said, I don't know if she's going live. I have it queued up, but I have a lot of other things we can go through. We have a ton of stuff. Let's just say Twitter has been a virtual treasure trove of information today. It's been crazy over here in them streets, in them doggone Twitter streets. Shout out for sure. Poetry Princess. What's going on? Uh-oh. Well, just like that, the tab is up, 5:15. So let's go ahead and jump on this. Good to see everybody who's jumped into the best live chat on the internet. Let's go ahead and tackle. There's a couple of things I want to tackle before. Like I said, I have a ton of videos we can go through, but I want to start with one I thought was pretty interesting. You know, one of the questions that's been coming up about this alleged assassination attempt on Candace's life, and real quick, just let me know, make sure y'all all can hear me pretty well. Green hearts in the chat that everybody can hear well. One of the pushbacks has been that there's not been any mainstream media outlet that has referred to, talked about, brought up this topic at all. And I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I haven't seen any mainstream media talking about this. But have we? Did we look across the pond? There's actually a very interesting response from the French mainstream media. Now, of course, we'll take everything like we take Candaspiracy with a grain of salt. Anyway, so let's go check it out. But before I jump into that, thank you so very much to all of the Cantifa members. Come on up here to the front of the church. Y'all know we leave space for y'all up in the front. We want y'all to have space. And we also want to say thank you to Mr. Holiday says this. This is my daily shout out to the Holocaust Museum in D.C. Everyone needs to check it out and keep that in their heads. Well, thank you so much for the $5 super, and I appreciate that, sir. We must remember our history, absolutely, or we're destined to repeat it. All right, let's bring this in. So the French media, actually a couple of days ago, I kind of forgot about it. They actually did address this topic. So let's bring it in and let me know what y'all think about it. Green hearts in the chat when you can hear it.
Vedika Bahel is here on set with me. Hi, Vedika.
Hi, Yinka.
So American far right influencer Candace Owens has long had tensions with the French presidential couple due to sharing unfounded conspiracy theories against them. She's recently shared a new theory that the Macrons are plotting against her life. Let's get into it.
That's right, far-right influencer Candace Owens. She's long been feuding with the French first couple over her persistent and unfounded conspiracy theories that Brigitte Macron was born male. In fact, she said she's even willing to bet her entire career on it. Now, she's now shared a new conspiracy theory that the Macrons have in fact put out a hit on her life, amongst a whole slew of other things. Let's have a look. Now, on this post on X alone, which has over 43 million views, Owens says that she was alerted by a French government whistleblower that the Macrons executed upon and paid for her assassination. They said more specifically the green light was given to them, was given to a team in the National Gendarmerie Intervention Group. That's also known here in France as the GIGN. It is a elite tactical unit of the French military. Now, she also goes on to allege that Charlie Kirk's assassin, Tyler Robinson, trained with the French military with multi-state involvement and she goes on to claim that journalist Xavier Poussard's life is also at risk. Xavier Poussard is a French conspiracy theorist who is also well known for propagating this conspiracy theory that Brigitte Macron was born male. So there is a lot to unpack here in these claims by Candace Owens. She said a lot of things, but there is actually these allegations that she's put forward with no factual foundation. Now, she is continuing to post online about this. Her latest claims is that the Macrons moved $1.5 million to put out this hit on her life. And she said that French legionnaires spent 3 weeks in the United States training with US Marines in California, but also in Camp Riley in Minnesota. And she says at the end that French foreign legionnaires were involved in the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
And Vedika, these claims are admittedly very far-fetched. Is there any evidence to them at all?
Well, that's the thing, Yinka. There's not any verifiable evidence to support any of these claims of an assassination plot. These are unfounded claims. Now, we did contact the French gendarmerie directly by telephone earlier today. That's who oversees the GIGN, the unit that she named in her post. Now, they dismissed this claim entirely, and they reaffirmed that their mission for that unit focuses on counterterrorism and on hostage rescue. Now, we also contacted the French Ministry of the Armed Forces. Now, they firmly denied any allegation that the Foreign Legion was involved in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. We can see here in their email to us, they said Tyler Robinson, the Charlie Kirk's assassin, has never been part of the Foreign Legion. And if he hasn't served in an American unit, he cannot, therefore, be trained by the French Foreign Legion. Now, regarding what we saw in Candace Owens' post about joint training between American and French forces, well, that has taken place. That did take place for 3 weeks in August. That has been confirmed. But this isn't a secret operation in any way. It's been well published on the sites by the French army and on their social media as well. But what we did get from the French Foreign Legion is that they firmly denied that there was any training that took place at a Camp Riley in Minnesota up to the date of Charlie Kirk's death on the 10th of September. And why is that? Well, it's because Camp Riley, as confirmed here by a former congressional chief of staff in Minnesota, it's because Camp Riley does not exist in the state. Now, there is a Camp Ripley that exists in Minnesota, but if Candace Owens has made this kind of error, especially when she's making such bold, loud allegations, I would say it does lessen the credibility of that claim somewhat.
Vedika, Candace Owens is doubling down on this latest conspiracy theory. Why could she have taken this further?
Well, the nature of conspiracy theories is that they create a space where you can make such big, loud, absurd notions without any proof. And when you're asked to prove the contrary, there's just never an answer that satisfies anyone. In the end, no denial from any person, from any body, from any organization is going to convince the people that believe what Candace Owens is saying. They will find something to say otherwise. But these are outlandish, ludicrous allegations, to say the least. Now, since Charlie Kirk's assassination on the 10th of September, she has been on a bit of a conspiracy theory rampage, in particularly almost daily. She has relentlessly been going after the French first couple over the last year, to the point where the Macrons have filed a defamation suit. Now, there are always going to be people that believe this conspiracy theory shared by Candace Owens, but as we can see here, there are plenty of people that also believe otherwise and see it for what it is, a conspiracy theory.
Vedika, thank you so much for that. Vedika Bahel there with our daily fact-checking segment, Truth or Fake.
All right, so that is French 24. Shout out to them. So they've, hey, they're calling it buckets just like we are. So I think this is going to be really interesting. I do want to also bring in very quickly that there has been a new update on the Macron case. Now, I don't know why it's taking so long, and I'm not really excited about this update, but let me show you exactly what I'm referring to. All right, bringing in our famous document. The mods can make sure that they drop this link in the chat. It's really hard to see because it's just so much. So this is the docket, and I just kind of refer back to it every time and look at it and see if there's anything new being added. So, of course, it kind of keeps, it's kind of, for lack of a better term, it's a timeline of the case and how it's being played out. All right, so scroll all the way down to the very bottom. Okay, the very last thing that was posted was on the 30th of October 25. And today, or yesterday, no, I'm sorry, 2 days ago, the 3rd of December, so like a whole month and a week, they answered a brief. And basically, in summation, is basically the Macron's lawyers. They ask in an official capacity, telling the judge that Owens' request to dismiss the case should be denied, even though he should have already replied, but that's beside the point, and that the lawsuit should continue. So that's the summation of it without being super legalese. Y'all know that I'm a pre-K law student, and that means I know nothing. So this is just the brief that's being submitted by the Macron's lawyers, Claire Locke, against what Candace is trying to do, basically saying, look, there's no reason to throw this case out. It's good, it's valid, let's keep it going. And so there we go. And so that is the most recent on this. And of course, I'm hoping that we'll have something. I really thought we were going to have an answer to this right after Thanksgiving, but here we are. So I apologize. No super new updates and all that kind of good jazz, but we got stuff to do. We got stuff going on. Shout out to everybody who's jumped into the best live chat on the internet. It's amazing Candace is trying to dismiss it. To be fair, asking to have a case dismissed is like a strategy. It's kind of like shooting a free throw. Like you're gonna ask to have it dismissed, even if you want to be big and bad and say, yeah, sue me. You dared them to sue you. But asking for dismissal is not actually uncommon. I've asked a couple of other lawyers to explain it, and it is a strategy. Even if you ask them to sue you, asking them to dismiss it is not uncommon. All right. I do want, a lot of people brought this up, and I appreciate you all. Several people sent me the email, sent me the text, and such like that. Apparently, shout out to Colonel Kurtz. Let me make sure I got that right. Colonel Kurtz had a podcast yesterday or the day before, and one of Charlie Kirk's relatives came on. So let me bring this in very quickly. It's not super long, but I just want to hear give you a chance to hear what she had to say. And let's bring that in. Let's go.
My sources from Charlie's family told me that Charlie, and I'm relaying a message from family, he did not agree with who Candace had become in the last 2 or 3 years. He was respectful of her because it wasn't in his nature to attack a friend, but he absolutely did not agree with where she was going. And I know that there are members of his family who really resent the way she's degrading his legacy.
So the audacity of this woman, who the hell owes you anything? Were you Charlie Kirk's keeper? I mentioned that she's very self-entitled. So in her response today on her show to Turning Point and Blake, she says basically, well, finally, thank you. This is what you could have just done this months ago, and then I wouldn't have had to have done all these programs, and I wouldn't have had to call you out and stuff. I mean, we could have done this anytime. And I just think to myself, the audacity of this woman, who the hell owes you anything? Were you Charlie Kirk's keeper? Were you, other than being a has-been associate of his and someone that, frankly, in my opinion, he was basically just trying to keep this crazy nut in his corner so that she didn't turn against Turning Point? Charlie Kirk, I think, was a smooth operator. And I don't say that to denigrate him, but his bio has been rewritten by people who have now tried to turn him into some kind of a saint. The guy was also a smooth operator, and I think that he was trying to kind of keep he was keeping kind of Candace sort of in this corner in a way, and telling her perhaps things that he thought she wanted to hear about, I'll bring you back into the fold one day or whatever. I don't know. But I do not think that they were best buddies. And I think that everybody, you know this too, almost everyone in Candace's past, at some point they learned that you have to be wary of her. And that's why when you look at her past, her professional paths, you see generally a lot of broken relationships and a lot of partnerships that didn't work out. And she's changed her ideological perspective dramatically over the years from when she was doing the leftist thing with Social Autopsy. So anyway, I don't think anyone owes her anything. And the idea that Turning Point should have given her evidence or should have disclosed their financial books to her or
phone numbers,
That's the
call logs.
entitlement is insane. First of all, she counts on her audience not knowing anything. And I know Kelly's in the chat, and if Kelly, if you want to speak up and add anything, I would love to have you. I'll read it out loud, and I'll interrupt what we're doing. But
Yeah.
if she counts on her audience not knowing anything about like trials, legal things, so everything's about her. Why haven't they given me this? And I'm explaining it. Kelly says, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Yes. So I feel like my sources from Charlie's family told me that Charlie, that was his mantra, keep your enemies closer. He was class act. He did not agree with, this is what I've been told. And I'm relaying a message from family. He did not agree with who Candace had become in the last 2 or 3 years. He was respectful of her because it wasn't in his nature to attack a friend, but he absolutely did not agree with where she was going. And I know that there are members of his family who really resent the way she's degrading his legacy.
Well, she is degrading his legacy. And I also don't appreciate her pretending that she's actually doing him a favor. If I were in a room with Candace, I would, and I had like truth serum that I could give her, I would say, Candace, do you think that Charlie Kirk wants you to continue what you're doing? Because she is hurting his wife. And by the way, I just want everybody to say, I acknowledge I have been critical of Erica Kirk. You can look at my YouTube. You can see a few videos that I did where I was pointing out what I thought was her inconsistency and being sort of more of a traditionalist trad type, but also CEO type. I'm not a hardcore right winger, whatever. So I want to be above board about that. But what Candace has been doing to Erica Kirk, and Candace will say, well, I haven't accused her of anything, but she's trying to this woman is now the CEO of this organization that Candace has basically declared war on. Of course you're trying to hurt her.
That's always what she says. But so she says, I haven't, she focuses on these little points of like, I haven't said, she didn't come out and say, I think Erica killed Charlie. It's
Right.
subtle implications constantly. And it's this hypnotic tactic where it's like, of course we know what she's talking about. So, I went to Utah and I spent 2 days there talking to sources, and I learned a lot about, and I haven't shared most of it, but I mean, those poor kids that were in the audience that saw that happen, they're not okay. And at the end of the day, like, he was brutally murdered in front of us. And I think a lot of us are still digesting that horror and we're still grieving. And I know his family is having a really hard time. So it's a real person. There's a person who was brutally murdered in front of the country, the world. And there are people grieving him. And the way she goes about this, as if she's the only one who cares about him, she's the only one who knows his story and his intentions and his vision. Like, it's horrible because he had a lot of people around him who loved him, aside from his fame.
What I'm doing is just going through what's publicly available, old interviews, old shows that she did on her own YouTube when she was like me and she was just podcasting from her bedroom. She used to go by the title Red Pilled Black, if you remember that. Prior to that, she was a leftist blogger and activist, and she tried to found basically a kind of a semi-doxing website called Social Autopsy. My point, though, is when you look at, as I've been doing, the different iterations of her career, what you see is that there is a pretty extreme paranoia and conspiratorial mindset that she seems to have had for a while. And also, I think that I don't want to diagnose anyone with a mental disorder that I don't know, but I will say that to me, I see some of the behavioral signs of someone with some kind of a cluster B disorder. I'm not diagnosing her, but I'm saying as someone who has studied a number of these, going back to Amber Heard and Blake Lively, perhaps even, and no, I'm not saying she's exactly like them, but I see a number of the signs of that. It's a very us versus them perspective on the world. It's very paranoid. It's a very black and white dichotomous way of moving through the world. And these people who are inclined this way, they tend to be extremely sharp. They tend to have a raw animal intelligence, but also they go through these cycles of devaluation, as you know. And so initially they might love someone and then they have a falling out with them, and then suddenly that person is the enemy, that person's a demon. And I just think that it is likely that Candace probably has carried a great deal of resentment toward Turning Point, and maybe even toward Charlie Kirk. I know she wants to act now like they were best buddies, but I think that there's a lot of probably conscious and unconscious animosity there. And I think that what has happened now is she has taken on this adversarial relationship to not only Turning Point, but to the establishment Republican Party and to even Trump, even MAGA world. And so I do agree with you that I think she does not have any kind of allegiance to MAGA anymore, no allegiance to Trump, no allegiance to really anything interested, I think, in actually making this country better. She is interested in uncovering and exposing some kind of like Illuminati Freemasonic cabal that's running this world.
But I don't even know if that's real, because that is, you guys, I can tell you that is what sells. Like, I could go through my analytics, anything a conspiracy with the cabal, which, by the way, I love. You guys know I love that. But so I don't even know, and I'm told by the same source that she does believe what she's saying. But then I went back, and maybe you're going to uncover this, but oh wait, okay. Was she I feel like she's a performer. So people are viewing her as a journalist, and to me a journalist really is obsessively invested in the truth. So you go in with no narrative, and you're open to changing your mind based on evidence. I think she's a performer who like, to me, I keep saying this, and somebody said it earlier, it's like the WWF of media. So like, you create false conflict and then resolution, and everything's produced, and you're picking what you need to make the fight the most, like, to get everybody involved. So someone's going to have a fake, your fake bloody nose, and there's fake. To me, this is what's happening.
All right, so shout out to Colonel Kurtz, great podcast. Hey, real quick, we gotta take a station break. We gotta fix a problem. I gotta make sure we're up to speed on something. I don't need this rumor going around. All right. So, Jason, what are you talking about now? All right, this is Nisam Black, great podcaster. He does excellent top tier work. There is a content creator. His name is Jason Whitlock. He is not me. I am not he. And Jason Whitlock has stepped into the bee's hive because he supports Candace Owens. Jason Whitlock supports Candace Owens. Jason Whitaker, Jay Witt, thinks that Candace Owens is a complete clown. And I think Jason Whitlock's a clown too. But let us continue. But no, so Nisam Black is not talking about me here. And I've had a couple people bring this up. No, Jason Whitlock he just doing whatever he's doing. Whatever. He is not me, and I am not he. So let's not, I don't want that rumor out there at all, because I like Nisam. I think he's a great content creator, and I don't want people getting the wrong impression about him or anything like that. He's a good brother. He seems like he wants to put out good content. So yeah, Nisam Black is not talking about me. All right. And I am not supporting Candace Owens. But I think y'all already knew that part. I just want to make sure that that confusion with the names, because I used to get it early on when I first came to YouTube as well. I don't want anybody to get it wrong. Look, when I do something wrong, y'all got my number, right? When I don't do anything wrong, stay away from me. Leave me alone. Anyway, Nisam is a good brother, so for sure, I just want to make sure we put that out there. We are not, we're not the same. There we go. Shout out to. All right, so I just want to make sure that was clear. Now, Candace is going live in about 20 minutes. I have another quick video I wanted to bring up, because the world that we're in is just crazy. Like we are in a crazy, crazy world right now, where I find myself agreeing with people that I'm like, I can't believe that I'm agreeing with this person. I really can't. Like, I have to go repent. Like, Lord, is something wrong with me? Like, is there something wrong with me, God, that I'm actually agreeing with this person? What's wrong with me, God? What's wrong? I'm depraved. I need Christ. Anyway, oh my gosh. Y'all shout out Ruben. Ruben, are you in my notes, man? How do you know that? How did you know that? I don't know how, man. Nick, I don't agree with Nick on probably about 85, 95% of the stuff he says. But when Nick is right, I mean, goodness gracious, man, just get saved, Nick. That's it. What did Riri say here? Thank you about Jason Whitlock. I was disturbed a bit. Oh my gosh, I don't want y'all being disturbed. Trust me, this thing happened early on too when when Jason Whitlock was very he was very mamsy-pamsy about critical race theory and Black Lives Matters. I was getting these messages all the time. So we are perfectly fine. Thank you for the $2 super for sure. All right, let me bring this video in because you know what? You all are going to probably be like me. You're going to probably be like, well, I mean, he's not wrong. Let me show you what I'm talking about.
If she's so afraid for her life, why was she at Tucker Carlson's Christmas party in Nashville last night?
Oh, hey, that's Jason Whitlock right there. I forgot. That's Jason Whitlock right there. Now, clearly, y'all can see. Now, granted, he does have the maroon shirt on, so maybe he's trying to throw off people. He got a maroon shirt on, but no, that's not me. I'm a little bit more dashing than that, I hope.
Why was she at Dollywood on Thanksgiving? The theme park. So, allegedly, the French government and the Israeli intelligence have put a hit out on you. They've paid millions of dollars to kill you, but you're walking around a theme park in your town? You're walking around, for those that don't know, Dollywood, Dollyland? It's like Dolly Parton's Disney World. You're walking around Disney World? You're walking around an amusement park in your hometown on the holiday weekend when allegedly everyone's trying to kill you? Then you go to a Christmas party with Tucker Carlson in the same city attended by hundreds of people, and people know you're going to be there with Tucker and all the based people in one room, but you can't go to Turning Point.
You can pick the place, you can pick the time. Turning Point USA decided it was a good time to issue a confirmation plus an ultimatum, a time and a date. Say we do it tomorrow. We don't need to plan for this. We don't need lawyers in between us, lawyer statements. It's not how I roll. I should tell you that they did not send me an email. They did not send me a text message. They did not coordinate anything with me. They simply made this midnight announcement and gave it a countdown. You can pick the place. You can pick the time. I say we do it tomorrow. We don't need to plan for this. We don't need lawyers in between us, lawyer statements. It's not how I roll.
Where everybody knows you're going to be. And if anything happened to you, God forbid, they would immediately blame Turning Point. It doesn't even make any sense. So she says, I'm going to live stream the live stream and I'm going to fact check it in real time. Why? I think we all know why. She's totally full of. She doesn't care about the truth. If she did, she would go, no matter the cost. If she were really courageous and a truth teller, she would bootstrap it and she would say, wish me luck. She would kiss her husband when she walks out the door and say, it might not be coming back. And she would go and just fully send it and do it. Because if this is really, as she says, of cosmic, spiritual, geopolitical significance, you have to. And it's being offered up on a silver platter. You just have to. After talking all this, driving everybody against each other for the past 3 months, you got to do it. So clearly, she doesn't believe what she's saying as far as the significance of all of this. Secondly, I don't think she believes what she's saying about Turning Point. Why does she not want to go in person? Because if she goes in person, she might get caught on the back foot. She might find out that her whole theory was wrong and that all of her facts are wrong and she might not be able to explain herself. If she's at home, she's not under pressure. What's more, she's got her producer in her ear, like she did when I was on her show, like she does on all her shows. What's the producer's name? Skylar? She's going to have Skylar in her ear. So when she mispronounces something or she gets something wrong, she's going to say, Skylar, what was that? And Skylar can be on AI. Skylar can be on Twitter. And he can help her out. She can have air support. That's what this is about. And so she knows, first of all, it's obviously she does not mean what she says. It is not that important to her. And she does not have the courage of her convictions. She knows she's going to melt at Turning Point. She needs backup. So then she's going to engage in yet another lie. And then she's going to gaslight the world and say, oh, I'm not a coward. It's not that I don't have the courage of my convictions. It's they are being weird. They're being weird. I'm not backing down. They said, we're going to do a stream. You said, name the time and place. They did. Now you're saying you can't go in person, but you can live stream it. And we all know why that is. But then she'll turn around and say, oh, I'm not a coward. They're just being weird. They announced it at midnight, so that's why I can't go. You can't go because they announced it at midnight? You can't go because you're seeing this on Twitter and not in your inbox? I mean, what are you even talking about? And so this is where it's like, if you're still on this train, I honestly have no respect for you. If you're still on board after this, I don't know how anybody can buy in. And like I said, I'm not saying this for rhetorical effect. I would actually love to see her talk to Turning Point, because there's not a losing scenario there. If she goes to Turning Point, we're either going to find out that she was right all along. She's going to bring the receipts. She's going to name the names. She's going to put the screws in these people, and she is going to blow the lid on everything. And you know what? If she's right, we want to know. If she's right, I want to know that, and I want to see it. I want to see it proved. And if she's right, I will issue a public apology on video and writing. I will say, you know what? I doubted you. I didn't get it. You were right all along, blah, blah. Honest to God. And if she's wrong, then we'll know that too. We'll know that whatever the errors she made are, we will know what they are. And maybe it'll bring us closer to a bigger truth about what happened to Charlie Kirk, whether it was Tyler Robinson or some other thing went on, or maybe Turning Point wasn't in on it. We'll know more. And I think everybody wants to see it. We want to see, she's been building the energy for 3 months. This is supposed to be the climactic, like jury trial, courtroom drama moment. And she goes, I can't go. Well, you know what? I can't take you seriously then. I have Candace Owens fatigue. It's a species of black fatigue.
Oh, no.
You know, people have black fatigue. I have Candace Owens fatigue. Loudmouth idiot. Total loudmouth fucking black female narcissist retarded idiot is what she is. And a fucking coward at that, given this. I've so had enough. So, I mean, I watched that show. I don't know how she's going to face, but you know what? The audience is going to enable that. Audience reflexively makes excuses for that. It is, in my opinion, done a lot of damage to the country, because there are millions of people that are watching this and they seem to be completely divorced from reality. We're 3 months in and there seems to be no evidence at all. And much of the evidence is wrong. For example, she talks about this Egyptian military plane and she got the time zone wrong because she didn't know what UTC meant. She thought it meant Utah time. And so she had an Egyptian plane present during the assassination and leaving afterward, but she misplaced it because she got the time zone wrong. And when people corrected her, she came out and said, well, you correcting me proves that I'm right, because you wouldn't care if I wasn't over the target. And it's things like that that freak me out, because it's like, if you're right, you're over the target. If you're wrong, you're also over the target. She comes out with this conspiracy that France is trying to kill her. She says, France is trying to kill me. Then she comes out and says, the French government didn't respond. The American government didn't respond. Suspicious. But didn't she say months ago that when the Israeli government responded to claims that they killed Charlie Kirk, that was suspicious too?
Good point.
So if they say something, they're in on it. If they say nothing, they're in on it. It's this confirmation bias. No matter what the outcome is, whether the facts are right or wrong, or whether they never arrive at all, it always furthers, oh, well, they wouldn't do that unless, oh, well, that's really weird, isn't it? Just asking questions. There's always just this insinuation. There's never actually anything concrete or tangible or real. I don't even think there's a coherent theory at this point. that explains it from point A to point B. It's just a sort of general, every permutation is simultaneously true all at once. And that's just not intellectually rigorous, and it's not serious, and it's not honest. And anyway, I think this is doing profound damage to the country. I think it's disturbing. I think it's weird that millions of people are watching this and they're buying into this psychosis. And it has gotten to the point now where the people that are being implicated in the conspiracy, I'm sure they're being harassed in their real life. She's going on a show that millions of people watch, and she's naming private individuals and inciting her followers to harass these people. Whether it's people that, you know, there's like a state representative, and there's people in the audience, and the guy that asks a question, and Turning Point USA itself. And you know me, I don't love Turning Point, and I don't love the people in there, and I don't trust them. I don't trust Andrew Colvett. I mean, the guy's a spook, and I could tell you all about Andrew Colvett. I don't trust him for 2 seconds. Blake Neff, he seems a little better. Jack Posobiec, I think, is a Fed. So I don't really trust any of those people there. But with that being said, these are all people that were friends with Charlie Kirk, worked with Charlie Kirk. They're being accused of killing him. And these millions of people are being deputized to go and harass them and attack them and say that they're in on this big thing, really with no evidence.
All right, let's go. Let's go. I don't know, man. I don't understand what kind of world we're in where I'm actually agreeing with Nick pretty much on all of that. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know what we need to do, man. I think we probably need to like have a moment of silence or something. I don't know. What do we need to do? But shout out to the best live chat on the internet. I want to say thank you so very much to Slayer Princess with the $5 super says, how do we tell the difference between Jay Witt and Whitlock? Jason Whitlock? Jay Witt is a good looking one. Shout out for sure. All right, appreciate it. Shout out again with the 5. Anna Elaine says this, I feel like I need a shower after agreeing with him. I mean, I agree. I hate it, but it's true. And again, right here, Forever Blossoming says she could wear her Kamala earrings for Skylar's help. Absolutely. I mean, I think a lot of you were saying it, like a Nick Candace debate would be kind of interesting. I think it would be interesting. Keep in mind, Nick, you know, Candace let Nick on her show. Was it earlier this year? She had a powwow with him, but then he proceeded to go on his own show and he just ripped her a new one. So I thought I thought it was the other way around, where Nick was being uncharitable to Candace. But in retrospect, looking at it again, Candace kind of brought all that on herself. So it's kind of wild. Let me real quick. We're going to clean our palates before your girl comes on tonight. We got Christian Johnson coming over here real quick with something crazy. Anyway, in the spirit of Thanksgiving, let's get Christian Johnson. We'll clean the palate a little bit. Let me see if I did that wrong. I did that wrong. There we go. All right, we'll clean the palate real quick. Green hearts in the chat when y'all can hear. All right, let's go. Green hearts in the chat when you can hear.
Nobody can take off to help you, Mama. That's just...
No, I do this every year.
Yes, we know. So let's see what you done cooked up this year.
Were you wanting thin slices or big slices?
Do it really matter? It's canned ham.
Oh my
Flavor you
gosh.
putting on the chicken?
Lemon pepper? I know you like that.
Oh, is it gonna fit?
Hold on, that ain't enough lemon or pepper.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Why does she do that?
And how long
Wait a minute. Is she about to...
was that gotta cook?
For a whole hour.
She about to cook raw chicken in the microwave for an hour?
How did I do with the ham?
How you do with the ham? He ain't did nothing.
You did good. You're learning. I like that.
What is that?
Now what you doing? Rich crackers and boiling what? There's too much going on.
You want me to stir it for you?
No, don't touch that.
Don't touch it. Ha, you ain't got to tell me. I won't touch it now or when it's ready. Shoot. As a matter of fact, leave it untouched. Don't let it touch nobody's plate and don't let it touch nobody's tongue.
No.
What is that supposed to be? Because all I see is crackers in a crust.
Oh.
Oh Lord, the 60 minutes is up. Let's check on this radiation rooster.
Oh.
Yeah.
What?
What are we yelling about?
Dang, one jar might be enough.
I'll have that.
What is that she put on top of that spam that spurky? I think that's gravy. Whew, okay, because I thought that was applesauce.
Gosh.
What?
Are you serious?
Is that
Why
side
does she
still
cook like
good?
this?
At this point, the cheese should be the least of your worries.
You know, we about should have done 2 cans.
Of apples?
She put apple filling in the mac and cheese, but not the pie crust? Oh, my stomach bubbling. Yep, there it is. I'm starting to feel a bloop bloop.
This is going to be our Thanksgiving dinner this year.
Yeah.
Got our buttered toast, our lima beans with mayonnaise.
Lima beans and mayonnaise.
We also have pizza roll for the kids. Is
Thank God for the pizza rolls. I mean, that's the safest thing I done saw.
what we have because somebody might not eat this.
Nope.
Might not eat it.
Chicken that I cooked in the microwave cooker.
Not the microwave.
That came out super moist.
I
Whoa.
don't think that chicken done.
Why? Yo, what is that lady for real? That's why waste food like that? That is just so ridiculous, man. That's why people don't like us, man. Why waste food like that? That is the dumbest thing I've seen. Oh my gosh, that's craziness. No, okay, it's a skit. But why waste food like that for a skit? Oh, that's crazy work. That's some nasty work, y'all. Pizza rolls, yeah, that's probably the safest thing out there. I could get another one queued up for later. Get that one ready for later. All right. Your friend is supposed to be going on in a few moments. So I'm going to do my very best not to stop a whole lot. And it's been a whole week of shenanigans. We're just going to we're going to just try to just hold on for the ride and just let the pain subside, right? Let me real quick make a change here. Bang. All right. Appreciate y'all jumping in and hanging out with us this evening. Let me real quick make this change here very quickly. All right, got that taken care of. All right. There we go. All right, let's get ready. All right. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Did I miss anybody? I did not. All right. Yeah, that chicken did not look like it was ever going to be done. Yeah. I don't get that. I really don't like that, to be honest with you. When people are wasting food, I mean, you're not going to eat that chicken. You didn't think that chicken was right. There's no way. No. That's just dumb. I don't like it. I hate it. And I think that whole channel is probably that. Dang. Wow. I see what you did there too, Surratt. As a white person, people like her give us a bad rap. I can cook. I agree. You probably put more lemon pepper than she did. Absolutely. Yeah. What we got? It's a skit. You feel like it's a skit, but it's a wasting of food, though. If it was a skit and you weren't wasting food, we probably could rock with you. We probably would laugh at you. But some of those, like, you're just wasting food for what? That chicken gave his life to be that. That's dumb. All right. She is definitely for real. Oh, no. Is it? Her YouTube channel is full of food atrocities? Really? Okay, well, no, I can't watch that. I'll watch Christian Johnson make fun of it, but I cannot watch that in all sincerity. Oh man, I started too late. I did have a funny body cam. I think we all would have got a good laugh out of it. I think we still might I might have to pull that in later on. Oh, she went live. Let's bring it in. Green hearts in the chat when you can hear. All right. I'm going to bring it in later on. Maybe during a commercial break or something. I don't know. But I think you'll enjoy it. It was very funny. I started to watch it. I did not see the whole thing. Was it Cam Higby is his name? I started to watch it, and then a phone call came through, and I started doing something else. I got ADHD. Mr. Pancakes body cam is the best one I've ever seen. There's some great ones, man. There's so many good ones. There's just so many good ones. I can't honestly say who's better than others, but I'll check it out. It's not a skit. They saying it for real. All right. So apparently Cash Patel was on Megyn Kelly's show today, right? Interesting. All right, fire in the hole. Let's go.
All right, you guys.
Green hearts in the chat.
End of the week, get excited because the rapper The Game has dropped his song entitled The Assassination of Candace Owens, and the lyrics are in fact fantastic because even the hip hop world is asking questions and noticing that Turning Point is not acting right. It's because you guys are just not acting right. Well, guess what? Something interesting has taken place this morning. TPUSA confirmed that the debate request and the sit-down request to respond to all of our very many questions actually came from Erica Kirk. They said that request was directed by Erica Kirk, and I find that to be compelling. And they also explained why it has to be in person. And I am curious to play that clip for you to see if you believe and accept their explanation, their reason why. Also, I have probably looked at more footage from September 10th than any human being in the government or otherwise, anybody on this planet. And I happened to take note of something that I find to be quite strange. And I want to toss it to you guys because the public is more perceptive and capable than our FBI. So let's jump right into this. Welcome back to Candace.
All right, so Erica Kirk's about to catch it. We know where this is going, y'all. So let's see. Will she let us down? Let's go. Will Candy let us down? Let's see.
Okay, we're going to do something different and actually begin today's episode with comments from yesterday's episode because they are extremely relevant and they're also hilarious to what we are about to discuss. People who watch the show are obviously savages, absolute savages. And obviously yesterday we were discussing how they rescinded the offer because it had to be in person. Look at this comment, top comment. TPUSA takes them 3 months to respond. Also, TPUSA, you have 24 hours to respond. Like, what? Seriously, why? Where did this 24-hour thing come from, and why was it necessary? The second comment, this user writes, Tyler Robinson can appear in court by video conference, but Turning Point USA says Candace cannot attend their debate by similar means. Yeah, guys, we are starting to notice some things. It's weird. And we announced, or it was announced today, that Charlie Kirk's show, which they are continuing, and which once upon a time enjoyed the #1 spot on Apple Podcasts, has now plummeted, right? This is a tweet. Breaking news. The Charlie Kirk show has crashed in the rankings, falling to number 94 on Apple Podcasts, even though it routinely held the top 10 spot in the past and even reached #1 when Kirk was alive. The reason for that is simple. It is clear. People are telling you how they feel. And they feel that you are not being honest. They feel that they are not getting the truth from the very people who keep trying to market themselves as his closest friends. And I'm saying marketing intentionally because it feels as though they have transformed into a badly run PR firm from the early 2000s, where you try to use celebrities to influence the public. You get like, Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake to wear your denim. And everybody just then starts wearing denim, right? And I will add on to this that I certainly myself am compelled I would say that it's an interesting twist in this debate story, if we're even calling it a debate offer. At least I was surprised. I was legitimately surprised to hear this morning that it was apparently Erica Kirk who called for TPUSA to formally respond to the mounting questions and to set the live stream. At least that's what Blake Neff is saying on the Charlie Kirk show. They received this morning phone calls from the viewers at home. And of course, somebody asked about the nature of how they went about trying to get me onto this live stream. Let's take a listen to that question being asked, I think from a woman named Gina. Let's take a listen.
Let's take Gina's question. Gina, welcome to the Charlie Kirk Show. What's your question?
Hey, thanks, guys. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. My heart's broken with the things that are going on with Candace. And I'm trying to make it all come together. I'm sure I'm not your only fan that is trying to do that because of the relationship that she had with Charlie. And one thing that I'm just trying to make come together in my head is why the invitation was extended to Candace, but not to Candace directly. Blake, I think you tweeted something out, and I don't know if, I don't know what's truth and what's not, but I do know that she said she didn't even see the invitation, and it was issued, Blake, I think at 12 on a tweet that you had, or at midnight, 12, not noon, midnight. And so it was like 9 hours later before she even knew that you said anything about her attending the show. And then she's saying she can't attend in person. Can she attend on a live stream? Or, and you guys do live streams all the time. And is that going to be an option?
Of course, Gina.
I'm just trying to make this come together.
Of course, Gina. So first of all, our initial statement, it was on the show on Wednesday. I made it at the request of Erica. All of this has been at the direction and approval of Erica because she heads this. And so what we were announcing there is we said she has said things that are not true, and we did not address them for a long time. We stated the reasons why, that we thought a lot of them were just not, how to put it, we initially just thought no one would believe a lot of what was being said, and we also just, we remembered the same friendship that Charlie had, and we just hoped that this would go away without requiring any sort of direct statement or confrontation from us. So what was it?
That's actually reasonable. I hate to say it, but these people probably thought they were dealing with somebody that's logical and sane. That's really it. So that's not the worst thing I've heard. I'm sorry and he said that actually in the initial response to her. So that's not actually crazy at all.
Approved, as we announced, we are going to respond to this. And what I said was, we are going to announce a date soon. We actually hadn't agreed on it at the time I read the statement. We're going to announce a date where we're going to respond to this. And once we announce it, Candace is free to attend in person. That is what we announced. And so once we agreed on a time, I announced what the time was going to be. Candace, for her part, had said, you name the time, you name the place. That is what we did. As for why it was put out at that time,
I wonder real quick before we even get that far, is she going to address the fact that she is the one that put that out there? She said time and place. I want to see, does she try to weasel around that, or does she try to just ignore it, or does she just outright say, I never said it?
I don't think she had any difficulty in finding out what our scheduled time was. It seems everyone found it out quite quickly. And lastly, on the point of why it's in person, I think it's pretty intuitive that given what is being said, the way this has worked is that it's critical to be in person if you want to be authentic and to be detailed.
There we go.
And that is
Lie to my face.
A fair request to make if she's going to participate. But regardless, it is going to go forward because we have agreed that some response needs to be made. And so that's going to happen when we announced it on December 15th.
Yeah, and we actually got to hit it.
I'm one person,
Gina,
but
yeah, Gina, I'm sorry, we got to hit a radio break here. We can keep going in the break if you want for if you have a follow up. We'll be right back. We're gonna take a break from radio. We'll be right back.
So I love situational irony like that, where he is actually live streaming with Andrew Colvett.
I mean, that is
Like,
wild.
it's not authentic unless it's
No.
a person is in person, and Andrew Colvett's literally not in person as he's answering.
But Andrew Colvett is not lying on Blake Neff, saying that, you know, he really doesn't have a bald head. He wears a bald skin cap or something crazy like that. You've been saying things that are categorically wrong. They want you to sit in their room and lie to their faces. I agree. So you can kind of dance around as much as you want to try, Candace, but no, you need to answer these people. That's it.
Question, so I guess the show is not authentic or something. I also love Blake because he's trying so hard not to be condescending in that bit. It doesn't come naturally to him. He's extremely condescending. His obvious, how do I say this? We're shocked that you got
The irony of this woman calling somebody condescending, it's going to be studied by science. I promise you. Science is going to study this. That's crazy work.
guys believe Candace. We're just very shocked, you dummies. And his excuse is that the reason he did this in the middle of the night on X is that it's to be expected, as if that's some sort of normal etiquette. Once you extend an offer, not only do you extend an offer, you say that it's a sincere offer. He used the word sincere. And when she is trying to get around to, hey, like, why does this need to be in person? Just to be clear, Blake is saying the answer to that is, quote unquote, it's intuitive that it is critical to be in person if you want to be authentic. Let me just read that sentence again, because I consider myself to be pretty intuitive. I am intuiting right now that is absolute bullcrap. He says,
no, Candace, and she knows this, and her audience knows this as well. Candace has lied on TPUSA, on those men that are on that stage for the last 3 months. They basically said, we want you to come and lie in our faces. You've been lying for 90 days. We don't let you get away with it. Come here and lie in our faces. She's not going to be able to do it. That's what the problem is. She can't do that. She's not going to sit there. And I also think because they said that we answered this because of Erica, I think also she's shivering in her boots because she thinks it is very possible Erica could walk into that room. Can you imagine Candace sitting there at the desk, Blake and Adam sitting there, and then all of a sudden the door opens up and Erica walks in, and Blake and Adam get up and walk out, and it's just Erica and Candace, and they have to talk it out? I'm telling you right now, I would go to Phoenix to watch that. But see, Candace knows that she's dead over a barrel, so she's just going to keep making up these stories. Shout out to the best live chat on the internet.
quote, it's intuitive that it is critical to be in person if you want to be authentic. Yeah, they think you're stupid. They just think you're absolutely an idiot.
I got to stop again. I apologize. I got to stop again. They think you are stupid. No, TPUSA is not, their men are not saying anything to you. They're talking to Candace. And Candace thinks her audience is stupid. See, it's funny how she just kind of shifts this around. Bless her heart. Bless her heart.
You talking about my most contentious and my most viral debates have never been in person. Everyone assumes
Who cares?
that when you extend an invite, that you're going to do whatever you can to make it happen, whether it's friendly, whether it's not friendly. When you come out and you say that you are live streaming, the assumption is that you are live streaming because you want the internet to be able to attend, right? That's
But we want you to, but we want you to be there. This is not a collaboration. This was an invitation, as somebody said yesterday. Y'all, come on.
Live streaming an event is that it invites everybody to be able to attend. So when you extend an invitation of live streaming and you don't explicitly say it must be in person, why would I assume that you're going to rescind the offer if I say that I can appear via live stream? Okay. They never said that when they made the offer.
No, but
they were pretending that
I told y'all she was not going to address, you name the time, you name the place. They named the time, they named the place. The place is assuming also the means. So they might say, no, we're not going to do Zoom call. You need to be in the building. That's just it. That's very simple to understand.
they were being sincere, they never made in person a point of their demands. They never also said that I had to respond within 24 hours.
Who
That's a
cares about that
hostage
part?
situation, okay? There's no way that I could have accommodated all of that. In a million years, 24 hours to respond. How about, let me see if I can make that work. Even if I could have made it work, which I couldn't have, because my husband instantly said, no, you cannot do this Monday. And he runs the household. And
It's funny. I don't think she knows what day it is. Now, granted, I've heard people getting it mixed up. It's not this coming Monday. It's not 3 days from today. It's the following Monday, the 15th. That might have been just a little slip of the tongue. I'm not going to hold her to it. But I've heard her say it yesterday too, this coming Monday. No, it's not this coming Monday. It's not the 8th. It's the 15th. I just want to put that out there. Let's go.
he has an important thing going on that day, which involves people that are coming in from overseas. But even if I could have made that work, I would not have within 24 hours have confirmed to them if they had even sent me an email. Because I have kids, I would have had organized things, and it would have just taken longer than 24 hours, and they knew that. What Blake did say verbatim on that day is, quote, here is what is going to happen.
Play the tape. Play the tape. Play the tape. We don't want to hear you tell us. Play the tape. If it's a quote, play the tape. Run back the video.
In the future, there will be a live stream here in Phoenix. So we're assuming they're live streaming from Phoenix, where we address in a clear and comprehensive way the claims and the accusations, the false accusations that have been made against Charlie's family, friends, and the people here at Turning Point. We plan to walk through everything carefully and thoroughly. If Candace is available, we would sincerely welcome her participation in that live stream at our studio in Phoenix. Not a demand to be there in person, live streams happening at your studio, and you said that this was a sincere request, then you went about it in the opposite manner, which is why it makes it really interesting that he says in the beginning that that was done at the request, at the direction, and with the approval of Erica. And that's interesting for a lot of reasons. A, I think a lot of us have been wondering, like, did she take on this role and she's actually executing? Or are we still going through a transition phase? Is she still learning the part? How involved is she on a day-to-day basis? Because some of these actions seem like fumbles, like absolute fumbles. And you're wondering, is Andrew Colbert running things? Is Tyler Boyer
Hold
running
on
things?
1 second. 1
Is this coming
second.
from Erica Kirk?
One second. Let me run this back real quick.
Sincerely welcome her participation in that live stream at our studio in Phoenix.
Okay, and the reason I want to bring that up is because I found the clip, and shout out to the best live chat on the internet. Real quick, let's just listen to this. Is the actual invitation. It's only 16 seconds long. Green hearts in the chat when you can hear.
We plan to walk through everything carefully and thoroughly. If Candace is available, we would sincerely welcome her participation in that live stream at our studio here in Phoenix. At this point, we believe the ball is back in her court. We plan to...
What was confusing? They literally said it literally says, we invite you to the Phoenix studio. He did say that. So why is Candace couching it as if they didn't invite? Hold on. Let's hear what she said again. This is crazy work, y'all. And why? All because the woman is vindictive and evil and her heart is dead in its trespasses and sins that she's attacking this organization for no reason. That's why. Green hearts in the chat when y'all can hear.
Friends and the people here at Turning Point, we plan to walk through everything carefully and thoroughly. If Candace is available, we would sincerely welcome her participation in that live stream at our studio in Phoenix. Not a demand to be there in person, live streams happening at your studio.
If it matters, she changed the word in to the word at. I don't think it really matters. It's just a preposition. It really doesn't matter. But he said in our studios and she said at our studios. It doesn't matter. I just want to say that.
And you said that this was a sincere request, then you went about it in the opposite manner, which is why it makes it really interesting that he says in the beginning that that was done at the request, at the direction, and with the approval of Erica. And that's interesting for a lot of reasons. A, I think a lot of us have been wondering, like, did she take on this role and she's actually executing? Or are we still going through a transition phase? Is she still learning the part? How involved is she on a day-to-day basis? Because some of these actions seem like fumbles, like absolute fumbles. And you're wondering, is Andrew Colvat running things? Is Tyler Boyer running things? Is this coming from Erica Kirk? Because I'm having trouble, I guess, comprehending why she would green light something that the internet has now read as incredibly insincere. Of course it's insincere. You market yourself.
Ma'am, you made the internet believe that them saying that Allie Beth Stuckey reading you scripture was made her a fake Christian. Ma'am, no, the internet is not at fault. It is you. You are at fault, Candace, and your wicked, evil heart and the Cantifa cult members. That's all it is. Don't worry, it's you. It's not Erica, it's not Andrew, it's not me, it's not anybody else. It is Candace and your wicked, evil cult members. My name is Jason.
You've as somebody that is passionate about family, and we can't even get 24 hours to see if we can make things work and exchange things. Like that doesn't feel honest. That didn't come across as honest. And you're telling us, or we're assuming from that statement, that she approved the statement that went out referring to people as Antifa members, like making us akin to a basket of deplorables because we don't accept the Fed slop. Like that got her approval to go out. Like this was read by Erica. That doesn't feel good, And the reality is if you deeply care about the legacy of Turning Point USA, as you all claim that you do. Like
what about you?
Really just in this, Blake Neff and Andrew Colvat, because we were his best friends and we love him. Then how can you treat people who are genuinely people just like Gina, donors to Turning Point USA, people who got behind Turning Point USA, people who have photos of them going to Turning Point USA events, who probably have tickets to go to AmFest? How can you treat people with such contempt? How could you think they're dumb enough to believe that that was a sincere offer, that that's how it's supposed to work, if that's ever in the history ever of people setting up debates, that that's ever been how it's worked? That someone just arbitrarily...
How about you try to convince us that you really care about TPUSA? How about that? That would be even more exciting and enjoyable. I think it would be, dare I say, more comical for you, Candace, to try to convince us that you really care about TPUSA and Charlie Kirk's legacy. That's what we want to see. Help us, help make that a reality.
The time and a place, and you admit you had no time and you did not have a date picked. So there's no reason you couldn't come to me and say, here's 2 dates that could work, and allowed me to do that. And by the way, I would still like for you guys to do that, okay? And one more thing that I want to put out there, because your 24-hour demand is ridiculous. It's silly. Okay, let's strip it. Let's not pretend that there's some buzzard that got hit. We can still make this work, and I would like to make this work, and I would especially like to make this work if you are saying or implying that Erica Kirk is going to be there. Because the reality is that would be a game changer. I think that's a game changer. I think
there is no way in the world you're going to get me to you're going to convince me to believe that woman wants to be in there talking all reckless like she's been talking about that woman and her dead husband. Girl, shut up. Just stop. Stop the cap. Where's the stop the cap? I need to get I haven't used any of my little sound effects in a while. I'm going to use this one.
Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
Man, get out of it. Girl, stop lying. Please stop lying.
Would be very powerful to have her there.
She would be terrified.
To represent the viewpoints in a way that they're maybe not being shared by Blake Neff, who is incredibly unlikable and speaks down to people. And
I wasn't going to do this, but shout out to, I was going to talk about it later, but here it is right there. Shout out to Curtis. Curtis said this. Thank you, first of all, for the very kind $20 super. He literally just said this. I thought she said the other day that this guy was a good guy. Now she's saying Blake Neff is not somebody she likes. How? I think the woman had lied to herself. She has lied to herself to such a degree that she'd have confused her own self. Oh, good gracious, man. Thank you so much for that, Curtis. Man, I was going to save it to later, but now look where we are.
I don't know why he does that. It's not coming across clearly from your spokesperson, Andrew Colvat, who seems to be on the road and isn't course correcting in the attitudes that are coming out, or at least telling people not to be like late night tweeting like Tyler Boyer. And yeah, it would be great if you are saying that on the 15th, Erica Kirk as you are insinuating that she's going to be there, right? She's directing this thing. Are you implying here that she's going to actually be in the chair and she's willing to allow me to bring things and to go over timelines and stuff? Like, can you make that offer through the proper channels? Can you actually say that, since you now have more details about how it's going to work, and reopen that offer again? There's no way in hell that George can make the 15th work. I just said it. No, he shut it down immediately.
Okay.
And for a very valid reason. And it is not my inclination to go to Phoenix without having my team with me. And my husband is very much a part of my team. But I will say that I will raise it.
Is anybody else interested in how many times she's mentioned her husband? Does that pique anybody else's interest? She's mentioned her husband 4 times directly in this video. She's never mentioned him before. I would have thought her husband was Charlie. I would have thought she was a single mom. This is the first time I've ever heard her mention her husband's name. I'm going to go on a limb, man. She might have said it once, my husband, but she's mentioned his first name, and she's done it 4 times already. That's wild. Let's go.
It's further with the Supreme Court of George Farber. If you are
another time
insinuating, and actually if you can confirm that you are saying that you will allow me, as you said further in this, to bring whatever it is, because it would be more authentic if it was face to face. If you're saying that I don't have to deal with you, and this is actually going to be very open, and I can ask every question under the sun, I might beg. I might beg. So I would love to hear from Turning Point USA, and stop pretending 24 hours was some demand that had to be met, because that's ridiculous. So ball very much back into your court. And like I said,
dear Turning Point, my name is Jason. I'm a nobody. I'm living here in Atlanta. I'm talking loud in my office outside of my kitchen. Please, Turning Point, no more engagement with Candace. You've done enough. Do not engage her anymore. You offered her the 15th. She said no. Go ahead and do what you're going to do and leave it alone. Do not engage her anymore. You've done more than enough. More than enough. I think Blake did a decent job. It's over. Do not address her anymore until you address her on the 15th during your live stream when you address the lies. That's it. No more. Do not engage her anymore. Don't turn any other dates. Don't offer her another opportunity. No, she's already been given. Leave it alone. That's it. You don't have to listen to me. My name is Jason. I'm a nobody, but I don't think you need to engage her anymore. You've done more than enough. More than most of us thought you would have done. And goodness gracious, more than she deserves. Don't do it anymore. That's it.
I want to make this happen. I still think you guys can open it up for a live stream. Like you're doing that right now. That seems ridiculous as well. Let's make this work for the people. Anyways, you guys, diving back into our investigation. Okay, got something very interesting for you. Now, it is actually common sense that has been guiding this investigation the entire time, despite the federal insistence that we pretend we don't have any. And I think there's a compelling element that we should follow here. Well, if we believe and know and have the intuition that this is a deep state assassination, I do. Okay, and we know that our
then
deep
that's
state,
you.
the CIA, is involved in color revolutions all around the world. We should think about how they organize the revolutions, right? Wow. What does it actually entail? How does our military accomplish that? What through what means? Okay?
They all wear maroon shirts.
And I think it's obvious that they accomplish that through organized chaos. The chaos, as chaotic as the event may seem, has to actually be organized if this is military. It means that as a state, we fund and then we coordinate protests, and coordinating is the operative word. It has to look organic to the untrained eye. You have to actually make sure that people will believe when they read the New York Times, when they read AP News or Reuters, that all of this just happened. Like back in 2014, the Ukrainians were authentically and truly just done with their president, Yanukovych. And when John McCain went over there and led the protesters in the streets, he was really representing the voice of the people. It was not another United States military color revolution. By the way, if you have not seen that, this is what we do all around the world. You should just, I'm just going to play a little bit of this John McCain addressing protesters in Ukraine before we overthrew their president. Take a listen.
People of Ukraine, this is your moment.
Народи українські, це ваш момент.
This is about you, no one else.
Це про вас.
This is about the future you want for your country. This is about the future you deserve.
Це про ваше майбутнє, про майбутнє вашої країни. Це про майбутнє, на яке ви заслуговуєте.
A future in Europe.
Майбутнє Європи.
A future of peace. And good
Майбутнє
relations
миру.
with all of your neighbors.
Майбутнє.
What in the merciful name? God, Lord have mercy. What are we listening to? Oh, what's that got to do with anything? Y'all, come on, man. Come on. Come on, y'all. What are we watching? Who cares about this? What does that got to do with, what does that have to do? A revolution in 2014 has what to do with Charlie Kirk being deleted in 2025? Was it 2014? Yeah. Like what are we doing? And this woman swear up and down she cooking. Matter of fact, she like that woman that was cooking that chicken in the microwave. Nothing is getting done. Not a thing. Not a thing. Man, this is some crazy work. Please get to somewhere, Candace.
All right, that's enough. I don't know why we're like this. I really don't know why we're like this. Anyways, I believe in my heart and in my rational mind as well that Charlie Kirk's assassination was about as organic as John McCain, may he rest in peace, leading the people of Ukraine. And we got our color revolution, and we've been doing corrupt stuff in that region since. Now, I began scanning the people of the crowd obsessively. Obviously, you should see the folders on my desktop. And I'm referring, of course, now to UVU on September 10th. And there was something that I kept noticing. A weird amount of young men were alone at this event, and they were wearing maroon.
Come on!
In fact, so many of these young men that I was coming across were wearing maroon that at first I legitimately assumed that it had to have been one of the UVU colors. I asked this question so innocently. I was like, to someone at UVU, I was like, oh, are your school colors maroon?
Y'all, this woman is so cooked. I don't want to say this like this. I know it sounds bad, but do y'all think Candace does drugs? I think she is high as a kite. Okay, I got to pull in my video about the maroon. I got to, because I want to, and I'm going to do it. and yes, I'm going to make another one. Yes. So everybody that's offended, I had somebody tell me they were offended that I was making fun of Candace. And they told me this yesterday. I said, well, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to be well served to leave me alone, because I'm only going to keep offending you. All right. So I'm going to pull this one in just for laughs and giggles, y'all. Hey, I know that guy. I'm going to make another one now. Now that she's done it, it's going to be another one. Let's go.
As I've reviewed this footage, and any time that I think that somebody is shady or somebody is brought to my attention that is involved or I would like more information on, they happen to be wearing a maroon shirt. Have you guys noted this? Everybody that day, like, I know, but I've never in my life looked at, every guy seems to be wearing maroon, that I'm like, who is this guy? Oh, he's wearing a maroon shirt. Oh, he's wearing a maroon shirt. Tyler Robinson's where everyone's wearing a maroon shirt, as if they were told to wear maroon shirts to identify each other. I'm communicating this to you because it keeps coming up in my research, and I think it means something. I think we need to hone in on the men, the people in the audience that are wearing maroon shirts. I don't think it's your go-to color for most men. In fact, it was so often that I was seeing this color that I reached out to my source and I was like, maybe it's a school color. Maybe actually they're all buying shirts and buying t-shirts, and the school color is maroon.
Say my name.
Is maroon. This feels like something that we shouldn't ignore. As I've reviewed this footage.
Shout out to my friend that's going to be offended by that. It's okay, man. It's going to be all right. This woman cannot, I'm sorry. Please convince me that she's not on drugs. I need you to convince me that she's not on drugs. Because whenever something comes up and it's just like ludicrous, this crazy wackadoodle, she just doubles triples, quadruples down on it instead of saying, oh, yeah, I probably got that wrong. I probably shouldn't have said that, which is a normal thing to do and say. All right, let's go.
Maroon. And he comes back and he said, no, they're green and white. So my gut told me, okay, that's interesting because maroon is not exactly a highly ranked color for men, okay? And it can't be that all of these men that are wearing maroon also happen to have attended this event alone. So I'm going to show you what I mean. And I'm going to go back to some of these people. This is by no means everyone. I'm just showing you a few times here. Here we go. We have this young man. This is after the shot.
How dare
He's
he?
wearing maroon. Show you another person here sitting there under the tree after the
Fed.
shot. And
He's
wearing maroon. Show you another person here.
Oh,
We're going to come
super
back
fed.
to this person who is wearing maroon because his dad is going to say something publicly. 3 people, 1 shot, all of them alone wearing maroon. We're going to come back to the guy at the top there who has the hat, the darker hat on, who's wearing maroon. Just like these like strapping young men all wearing maroon. We've got this guy in the bush wearing maroon. I could go.
What? But why not white? There's just as many blue shirts in these pictures, Candace. Like, okay, hold on. Like, there's just as many blue shirts
wearing maroon. Also,
why are you not looking at those? Why is maroon standing out? You know, shout out to Morehouse or Hillman. Shout out to Hillman. Like, okay, but there's gray. I see several gray. There's some blacks back there. Some blacks. That sounds funny. Okay, this guy by himself. So, I mean, there's a tree. Like, she really thinks she's cooking. There's, some sidewalk. Great job. Okay, there are white. There's a ton of white shirts. There's more white shirts and black shirts than there are maroon. Like, why are you zeroing in on maroon? This woman, this is crazy. How about jeans? I mean, it looks hot out there. How dare these guys are wearing jeans? This guy's wearing khakis. How about white shoes? This is mentally deficient. I'm surprised she didn't say hats because it looked like everybody was wearing hats. This woman is sad state of affairs, man.
1 shot, all of them alone wearing maroon. We're going to come back to the guy at the top there who has the hat, the darker hat on.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to come back to him.
Maroon. Just like these like strapping young men all wearing maroon. We've got this guy in the...
There's more blue in this picture. There's more blues and whites than there are maroon. How did you Actually, there's more red. Look right here next to the guy. There's 3 people in red. 4. Why are you zeroing in on the maroon shirt? That's what I'm saying. Like, you've got to be lost.
Bush wearing maroon. I could go on and on. This person of how many people wearing maroon. I even have a video of someone holding a maroon shirt. Okay. So I mentioned that quite casually. And that thing happened where there was an overreaction for no reason online. So I knew that I was on the right track and I should probably keep going.
Then.
And I said something, I think it was on X or maybe it was on the show. And then we received hundreds of emails from people past and presently in the military around the world. And they said, yes, Candace, that is military. I am just going to quote a few emails here. One person wrote, quote, airborne forces wear maroon, not just in the UK, the USA, and France, as well as in dozens of other militaries. Another person said, quote, I instantly recalled that when police are in undercover units, the FBI, etc., and they are not in their uniforms, they often have a color of the day or a unit color. It's a signal to anyone else around that you are with that mission or unit, end quote. Another person wrote, quote, my husband was and led part of the QRF, Quick Reaction Force team, when they were deployed in Iraq. We're tired now. We are retired now. The maroon color.
We're tired of your stupidity.
Means the color is famously associated with military forces, such as the Maroon Beret of airborne troops around the world. And another person explained to me that especially in coordinated violent scenes, making sure that people are in certain colors or in something that is identifiable is important so that military men can observe who to protect or who they're looking for, right? So that just makes sense, okay? And so LOL for all of you guys that were saying I'm stupid. I love being called stupid. Every time you call me stupid, it's another little clue that I should follow that.
Oh, then we should just call you stupid all around because that sweater looks stupid. Candace, let me make sure I got it right. Let me just make sure I got it right. TPUSA was involved in the deletion of Charlie Kirk, according to this woman right here. Is that correct? Okay, so they were involved in it, and the military was also involved in it, and that's correct too. According to her, theory. Am I correct in the chat? Because I want to get to these supers. I want to get, yeah, like, oh, wait, I was wrong. She said TPUSA was involved in it as well as the military was involved in it. Is that fair? Okay, that is a whole bunch of people. That's a lot of folk that's participating in this. I'm sorry. It does look dumb, though. It does. I'm sorry. I apologize. Please forgive me, y'all. I'm sorry. It looks like it lacks mental capacity. It's lacking. It has a low IQ. How about that? All right. So that's what she said. So none of the security guards that she already said, all the security guards were in on the fix. All the security team was in on the fix. None of them were wearing maroon shirts.
You guys are so obvious. Okay, it's the overreaction to simple things. And I feel in my gut that it was not some random coincidence that so many of these fellas decided to wear maroon on September 10th and attend the Charlie Kirk event. And I feel even more compelled because there was this person on TikTok, you may have seen it at the time, who was claiming that he had some videos that someone in his family had shot. And when he submitted them to the FBI had asked him to delete that footage. And I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's false. But I do know that when I got in touch with this individual and he sent me the footage, my eye immediately gravitated towards another person who happened to be wearing maroon, who is also alone at the event, who I thought it was kind of strange, did not duck when everybody else ducked after the shot went off. I think I had shown you that. I'm going to show it to you again. I know I identified him as a young man named Jacob Kasparian, and I'm going to show you that video of him not ducking after the shot goes off. Take a look at this.
Counting or not counting gang violence? Great.
And we're going to circle it so you can see it. Okay, that's him. You're going to see everybody duck.
You don't even see it.
Back up, and he's still not going to be ducked. He just kind of hits his phone and walks away. Now, regarding Jacob Kasparian, I want to be very clear. I do not think he shot Charlie Kirk because it's really fashionable for people to say that we are accusing everyone of shooting Charlie Kirk. No, I am observing.
Y'all do realize how upset she is about being confronted and being challenged. You do hear it, right? Y'all hear just how much she's not cool with it. She doesn't like being called stupid. She doesn't like being challenged on Twitter. She doesn't like being made a fool of in the comment section. She does not like that at all because she gets angry about it. You hear it in her tone and her inflection. She's mad.
Some things that strike me as unusual, and it's unusual that he attended the event alone.
How do you know they're
unusual
alone?
To me, that after researching him, he had posted himself earlier that day at either 8:42 a.m. or 7:42 a.m. I'm unclear on whether or not Facebook is editing the time zones.
Maybe you should find out before you give it.
I'm in, or when it was shot. But he's wearing an entirely different shirt earlier that day. It's a dyed blue shirt. And then when he arrives to UVU campus, he kind of hits certain points. He's up high, and then he's at the lower rung. 2 minutes before Charlie gets shot, he's not where he is. And then the next thing you know, he's there. And the reason why he's not moving is because he's recording and he doesn't duck. And I just found that to be a bit interesting. I can show you, by the way, this is a very grainy image of him recording. We're kind of circling it there. It's okay if you can't see it. We've hyperimposed.
Do you realize the amount of effort this woman puts into nothing? This is good. I'm sorry. There's no way her family's being well taken care of. You are scouring to find this. There's a grainy picture of a man. I don't even know what I'm looking at. You could have told me it was Moses in the burning bush. I'd have believed you. How in the world do you know that that's that man? Girl, if you don't stop with this dumb stuff, this is some crazy work right here. This is nasty work.
But I just found it odd thereafter that nobody, despite him being there, witnessing it and having recorded, by the way, Charlie getting shot, none of his family members posted anything about Charlie's assassination. He is active. He did not post about Charlie's assassination. It happened in their backyard. It was a global event. No comment whatsoever that I could find. And I started to wonder, based on where I found these individuals in the audience, I started to suspect, and this is my broader suspicion and theory, which in any investigation you're allowed to do. It might turn out to be wrong, but I am beginning to suspect that our Maroon boys in general were tasked with taking footage from predetermined angles. Again, it's a
Okay, I'm
discussion.
done.
I'd like
I'm
to
done.
explore it.
Okay, I'm done.
I'd like to explore it.
Okay, I'm rage quitting. I'm rage quitting, y'all. I'm so sick of this woman saying this dumb stuff. She just throws out a theory with no evidence at all. She just says it, and then that's where she runs with. The maroon guys were tasked to videotape and then from different angles. That's just my thought. Where do you get that from? You just made it up. You done pulled that from between your butt cheeks, and then you want us to believe that girl gone somewhere. This is infuriating. Gosh. I mean, this is some real stuff. And Lord have mercy. Y'all, but you know what? You know who's really real? All these wonderful super chats. Let me go right here. Let's start right here. I'm not rage quitting, by the way. We'll come back in a second. I got to take a breath. Take a breath. TPUSA has multiple people's schedules to coordinate. Thank you, Phantom, with the $2 super. That's exactly correct. Like, why would they only worry about Candace's schedule when you got 5 or 6 people within TPUSA schedules that you got to coordinate? Shout out to Grim Princess with the 20. TPUSA needs to stop being so accommodating and simply serve Candace a massive defamation lawsuit. Maybe that's why they wanted her there. What about that one? What if they have the lawsuit ready? She gets there and they drop that on her lap and say, you've been served. And then, by the way, Erica walks in and she's got to start answering questions. That would be crazy work. Maybe that's why they wanted her there. What do you think? What do you know? Ninja with the 5 says this: Candace, put up or shut up. It's harder to lie and keep up the lie to someone's face. Cowardly Candace. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Like, go there and be bold and strong. Curtis, again, thank you again for the very kind 20. He says this: I thought she said the other day that guy was a good guy, and that was Blake Neff. Shout out right here. For the love of Jesus with the 20, with the $2 super says this: her views are dropping. She's spiraling. I do think there's something wrong with her. I do think that. I have no idea. I'm not a medical professional at all, but she is just out of control. Slayer Princess with the 5 says this: Candace weaponizes private messages, so why not keep it public on X? She's backing down because she doesn't want to surrender power, face accountability. That's it. Like, there's more to it. And I hate that Blake said the word authentic. I think really what he means is that you can't lie in our faces. That's what I think he means, in my opinion. Ruben, for every excuse made, why didn't she say it was her husband's birthday that day? I don't know. That's a great question, because she's big proud about her husband's birthday on X, but on the 15th, if you don't know, December 15th is her husband's birthday. Shout out right here. Thank you so much, Ada, for being a member for a month. What would she rather have? Trans kids everywhere, blue-haired liberals? What is her point? Destruction of all that is good? I don't know, but I thank you for being a member for sure. And then right here, Patrina with the 5 says this: she don't know that Erica has it, makes her nervous. That's it. She doesn't know what Erica has. Please forgive me. Makes her nervous. That's for sure. And for sure right here, Ninja again, they say demons flee from spirit-filled Christians. Hence, Candace is a demon-possessed woman. I can't find a lie. I can't find a lie, but I know what I also cannot lie about. I also cannot lie about our stream sponsor. My goodness, in the morning. Thank you, Amanda, with the $100 super. You are now the stream sponsor. Let me go ahead and put that back up. I did not cue it up correctly. There it is right there. I appreciate your channel so much. I unsubscribed from Brandon Tatum's channel last night because of his reaction to TPUSA challenging Candace Owens. He told TPUSA that they better not mess this up. What in the world? I'm done. If you don't know, I am very much done with Brandon Tatum. I thought he was a much better communicator than that, but I am not messing with Brandon Tatum at all. He can go ahead and kick all the rocks between here and Pluto. Thank you so very much, Amanda. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, man. That is amazing. Thank you so much for that. Okay, let's get back to this. I'm going to finish these up during the commercial break, but I just want to say thank y'all for that. Let's get back. I apologize, y'all. I'm not going to rage quit. I promise. Let's go. Let's go.
And the easiest way for me to explore things and rule things out is to open things up to the public. I would like to see if anybody recognizes and can identify these other Maroon boys, because maybe I can determine what their extracurricular activities are. Are they all in the ROTC? As an example, I'm going off of internet vibes, they could be a part of an airborne force.
Internet vibes is crazy.
And it was even more compelling because there was this guy who live streamed the whole event. We all know who I'm speaking about. His name is Adam Bartholomew. I have never, ever said anything about Adam Bartholomew. I have reviewed his footage, but people online were clocking him as suspicious. They're like, this guy just always happened to be in the right place at the right time. And he has been randomly attacking me. Again, I've never said anything about him. And one of the ways that he instantly attacked was when I mentioned the maroon thing. And he said, my son was wearing maroon on that day. And his son was. That's the person that we showed you. That's Adam, and that's his son. Yeah, that only makes it more compelling because you were capturing footage on that day. So I'd like to know more. And I also find it strange, I will say about Adam Bartholomew, that when the shot rings out, he's live streaming, okay? And he does not stop live streaming to run down and ensure that his wife, who was in the audience, okay, was okay. He did not, when I learned by accident that his wife was there, his wife Carrie was there, and she was standing by the bush, actually almost directly near Jordan Kasparian, I would have expected him to be like, oh my gosh, after he says, what is that? Is my wife okay? Oh my God, where is she? Where's Carrie? Nope. She tweeted that photo of herself, and she confirmed in her own X feed that she was, I am more than I ever been, is what her tweet says. When we thought laying in the courtyard that we were about to get shot in the back or in the head, it was very clear that we were on the right side. She confirms by picture and by tweet where she was when that shot went off, and yet he mysteriously was not panicked to go find his wife. Odd, weird, and I have a suspicion about the Maroon Boys. I think all of our footage has come from Maroon Boys, and a lot of that footage was then algorithmically boosted. And so I would like to again show you the pictures of these men. And by the way, guys, there's going to be someone that just gets clawed in here who just happened to wear a maroon shirt that day. I am sure. If that is you.
But you're
oh, like, no, Candace, I go to UVU, and this is just a shirt I put on. They do look military to me. I will say that. And like these three, it's something that I've noticed. And then obviously we know Tyler Robinson notoriously was wearing a maroon shirt. Could be Boy Scouts.
He was wearing a black shirt. Hold on,
Eagles.
y'all. And some people say, like, Candace is exhausting. I feel bad because there's men that are she's doxing them by way of video or by way of a picture. And these men she knows nothing about them. She knows absolutely nothing. But she's putting these people out. I want to know more about what their activities were, the extracurricular activities. Ma'am, ain't you married? Worry about your own extracurricular activities. That is so grimy. And then for people to be like, oh, Candace is doing such a great job seeking truth. My left crusty toenail, she's not seeking truth. She is a muck raker. She's a gossiper, a busybody, a tattletale. This woman ain't trying to do nothing but tear things down. This is craziness. And no, I'm not offended because I'm wearing maroon. So don't you dare. I got a brand new video. I'm already gonna work on it. This woman is crazy. Y'all, okay, fine. If you're a part of Cantifa, this is your girl. All right, rock on, Cantifa.
Scouts could very much be airborne. So if you guys know anything, please email us. Again, if you recognize these people, I don't want your broader thoughts on the color maroon, but if you recognize these individuals in particular, more tips at CandaceOwens.com. Okay, and then I'm going to tell you somebody that I actually do think is suspicious on that day, and I need to know everything about him. But first, let's get to some sponsors.
Okay, the fact that she says that with a straight face, there's somebody there that I think is suspicious that I need to know about is just crazy work. That's diabolical, y'all. I'm sorry. I got to laugh to keep from crying. Like, what the world? Yo, man, please. Y'all, hold on. I might have to take a look. I'll have a moment of prayer. Lord, please let them sue this woman's socks off. Please let her get hit with more lawsuits than snowflakes in Tennessee in January. Please. Good gracious, man. There's some people over here I think are suspicious. I need to know about them. Who are you? Shout out to the best live chat. Thank you, Amy, with the $5 super sticker. I appreciate you. Thank you for supporting what we're doing over here. Curtis says, Jason, you're 100% correct there. I think we're talking about, I don't remember what I was saying, Curtis, but I thank you for sure, brother. Thank you for the very kind 20, man. You've been supporting what we're doing for sure. Thank you so much. PBD said he would pay for her security to go. $2 super. Thank you. Really? PBD is serious. Or how about this one? How about they say PBD says, hey, how about both of y'all come to our location in Orlando? There you go. Now then you got like a neutral ground, so to speak. I think that would be great too. Vanessa, thank you with the 2 says this. You're not nobody, Jason. You're a child of God. There we go. That's why I got you. That's why I got the best live chat on the internet. That's why. She claims 24 hours was not enough. Then insists it doesn't work because George shut it down immediately. Sounds like enough time to me. Thank you for the 5. Look, Candace is nothing if she's not inconsistent. Nothing. If she can't be inconsistent, she can't do it. I like that, though. Good catch, though. Good catch. What we got, Phantom, with the $10 says this. CIA is not military. Oh, and CIA is not behind Ukraine's 2014 uprising. U.S. State Department was. That was why John McCain was there. CIA acts covertly, not open U.S. government involvement in the activity. Come on. Like, we're not surprised. We are not surprised. Hold on. Now, in the chat, if you are surprised that Candace got information wrong, please just fess up. And you can come up here with Cantifa too to the front of the church. Look, Candace is going to say stuff wrong. She's just going to say stuff. But that's a good catch, by the way, Phantom. I appreciate it. Thank you for the 10. And Miss V says this with 5. It's not a debate. It's an invite. She's not available. Show must go on. Sorry. She can hear responses with the rest of us. No need to organize schedules. Okay. I mean, Candace says she's just going to do a live reaction to it. I mean, which to me is useless. I mean, that's what she does now. Washington Redskins did it. They wear maroon and gold. Well, there you go. Thank you so much. By the way, thank you, Phantom, again for that. And then the 2, Rena Bean says this with the 2, Maroon Gate trending. Maroon Gate. Oh, yeah, Maroon Gate. Look, I'm about to do a whole Dear Old Morehouse montage. Trust me. Candace could, Irish expression here, talk the hind legs off of a donkey. That is hilarious, Maggie. I also heard talk the ears off a donkey. I don't know if that's an Irish saying, but I've heard talk the ears off a donkey as well. Shout out for sure, right? This Tune. What's this? I'm sorry. Tune Trump. Shout out for sure. So she's doxing young students who just witnessed a tragedy and accusing them of murder. Can we make that make sense? Can we make that make sense? Shout out for the $5 super. Like, how is she this reckless? And that's the part I don't get. Oh, and by the way, has anybody heard her mention about her own assassination plot? Okay, that's what I thought. Let's keep it going. Thank you so much. Astro King with the 2 says this. Is she seeing anyone for her paranoid delusions? I don't know, but she needs to. She needs to. That's for sure. Okay. That's exactly what she needs to. All right, let's keep this going. Stephanie says this with the 5. It's funny that she has been demanding answers and explanations, and now she's gotten a response from TPUSA. She's livid. Make it make sense. Like, what's wrong with that? If you were so ready, because don't forget, she was the one that said any day, any time, we can do it tomorrow. That's less than 24 hours to do the whole thing. And she didn't intimate that it had to be direct, because they said be here in the studio. So she was the one that added this whole live stream element to it. They didn't say that you had to, they said they want you physically in the building. Shout out for sure. Thank you so much, Phantom. With the $2 says this, I no longer duck around gunshots. I guess I am sus. That's another thing. Why are you assuming that people immediately understood what was going on to rush and go to their family or do all these kind of things like that? It's very possible they didn't know what was going on. But then they started running. When people started running that direction, they said, oh, well, let me run that direction too. Like, why? I don't get her thought process is just weird to me. Tune Chicago to Trump with the 2 says this, I'm starting to suspect I was in on it too. Look, everybody needs to fess up. Where were y'all? Everybody. Come clean. Thank you so much, Blue Moon, for the 5. Says, know how she is saying part of the investigation, you are allowed to be wrong. She knows she's BS. She knows that she's phony. She knows this. She does know this. She almost knows this ad read too, by the way. Michelle, thank you so much for the 20 euros. What color do you think is a conspiracy next? I mean, we got blue, we got yellow, we got purple, we got the red crane, we got the maroon shirts. I don't know. Something with green, maybe? I don't know. Blue, green could get a shout out. We already got yellow. I'm thinking green will probably show up. There's somehow another green. Like what flag? Egypt is getting off, by the way. Where's Egypt? I don't know. This is just bananas. Shout out to Holly. Thank you so much for the $2 super for sure. Wings fan said this with 5. December 15th is George Farmer's birthday. Coincidence? Hey, it's his birthday. Okay. I don't think that the TPUSA needs to sit down and say, hey, let's check everybody's schedules and their spouses and their kids' birthdays. I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, they said the 15th. Meet them there, Candace. You're the one making the claims. You should be ready to go. Shout out Amethyst. She is a 1,000-piece puzzle box that has pieces for 50 puzzles. She's 1,000. That's hilarious. And I think you're right. We keeping this going. Melanie says this with the 20. Thank you. Here's your maroon sweatshirt. Shout out. Thank you so much. Let's get it back in here. Candace is still talking. Lord have mercy. Make it make sense. All right, let's go. Green hearts in chat when y'all can hear. It's muted.
Think is extremely shady. Okay. Extremely
shady.
Suspicious to me. And I can give you a variety of reasons, but I'd rather just ask for your help in, let me give you something explicit. I would like to see footage of him, period, point blank, who he was with, in the crowd. I'm starting to identify every person there. That's where I'm at. I'm micromanaging. I'm doing my best carrot over here. I would like to even find him on the day of Charlie Kirk's assassination in the crowd. Okay. His name is Emmanuel Beerer, and there are 1,000,001 reasons why I wanted to know more about him. Look, he's a former employee of Oracle. He's in engineering.
I do not approve. Real quick, y'all. I do not approve of anybody emailing me at dearwokec@gmail.com. I do not approve of somebody's emailing me a remake of that song Dancing Queen, but it being Doxing Queen. I do not approve of that. I do not want you to put in my inbox, dearwokec@gmail.com, the Doxing Queen. Do not do that. Do not do that. I do not want that in my inbox. Do not do it. Don't do it. Caleb the Faithful. I do not want that to happen. Do not put it in there at all. DearWokesy@gmail.com. Do not do that. I do not approve of those kind of shenanigans. How dare you?
I believe he's from Germany, from what I looked into. He's a software engineer, and he attended the event, but somehow I don't see any photos of him at the event, and he was plucked from obscurity by the mainstream media as an eyewitness in Salt Lake City. They went to film him in Salt Lake City. I just would like to know how these media requests came about. Did he tweet something and you knew he was there? Actually, if you are PBS, which I'm about to show you a clip of him speaking on PBS, how did you know to reach out to this man? That's the first question I'd like to have answered, right? Because I'm thinking, if I'm sending people down, I'm not sending them to Salt Lake City, right? I'm going to send people a news truck down to UVU campus. I'm going to go around and try to speak to people on campus organically, people that are students and attended this event, without a connection, which ended up being the Tiffany Barker situation where she said, I was friends with Jeff Lehman, and that's the reason that I was able to get the news hit in the morning. How did Emmanuel Beerer get picked out in Salt Lake City? Okay. I am going to let you listen to him speak and what he testified to on that day. Take a listen.
I hear this loud sound and I'm like, that wasn't what I thought it was, is it? I was like, no, this can't be happening right now. And we all ducked.
Okay, so yeah, they had him on basically every news channel. I think there is a longer clip and I might be able to find it, but I would.
I just did a quick search real quick. Do not use Google. Don't ask AI How far do you think UVU campus is to Salt Lake City, Utah? How far away do you think it is? Just in the chat. I just want to see what y'all think. I just want to see what like, without checking. Don't check. And if you're from Utah, you can't answer. Okay, I got 40 miles, 5, 20, 3 hours, 70, okay. A half an hour, no idea. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. 10 miles. It's actually 39 miles. It's 40 miles away. She makes it sound like they're driving. It makes it sound like they're going across the nation or something. 40 miles is nothing. We live in Atlanta. We drive 40 miles to go to Zaxby's and another 40 to go to Buc-ee's. Like, this is dumb. She makes it sound like this is such a long distance. Oh, they met him in Salt Lake City. Oh. That's as far as the airport is from my house. I mean, literally, man, come on. And this is the part. She must think that Cantifa is mentally deficient. She thinks Cantifa's dumb. I'm sorry. There's no other way around it. Because they're not going to sit there and just like, check. Well, let me check. How far is it? It's 39.4 miles away from the center of the campus to Salt Lake City. Is that are they on like foot or something? Are they on camels? Come on, Candace, make it easy.
Would like to
make it
find him.
difficult.
So if you attended the UVU event and you went with Emmanuel, maybe you are Emmanuel and you are watching this and
leave me
you
alone.
would like to clarify who you were with and send some photos and some pictures and also explain to me how you became an eyewitness that all of the mainstream media wanted to speak to, I would deeply appreciate that because I find that to be suspicious. I just do. Anyways, you guys, in other news, The Game dropped his album, his mixtape, with the song The Assassination of Candace Owens on it because Game gonna recognize Game. And I'm gonna play for you guys and probably get hit for it a couple of, we'll play like 10 seconds of the song and then I'll just kind of go over these lyrics from the second.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna call an audible right now because I don't need to get any copyright strikes. I'm look, your boy trying not to get them strikes. So I'm not gonna even put that involved. I'm not gonna put it in there, and I don't think The Game is anything that really edifies my channel. So if she wants to talk about the lyrics, y'all knock yourselves unconscious. If you want to look it up, I'm pretty certain I speak on behalf of the best live chat on the internet. We don't care. We don't care. We really don't. We're not worried about here. This is what I think. We say. We do not care. We don't care. We don't care. So she wants to go over the lyrics because somebody's saying something positive about her. That's how Candace gets down. Real quick, I do want to finish these up. Thank y'all so much. Thank you so much. Patrine with the 5 says this. I want to see her receipts on Charlie saying he was going to be unalive the next day. Shout out. That's $5, and I agree. I want them to call her out on that. I want them, Vanessa, with the 2. What does she say here? Remember, she mentioned the green shirt guy. Oh, yeah, the guy with the green hoodie. You're right. She did call that guy with the green hoodie. I forgot about him. So green conspiracies have been rectified. Have been brought up into the chat. Thank you so much, Shauna Grace, for being a member for a month. George is a grown adult. He won't have a tantrum if they don't celebrate his birthday on a day late, or that's so ridiculous. And let's also remember, he's going to be 36. It's not even a milestone. I was thinking it's like a milestone birthday. Maybe that would make sense, but he's 36. And let me tell you, my guy, get to about 52, nobody even remembers your birthday. You don't remember your birthday. I remember my birthday. Anyway, Rainbow Unicorn, thank you so much, Patrine, with the $2. I appreciate you for sure. With all of this talk of Maroon, is she going to accuse Adam Levine? Thank you so much. Right? Thank you so much, Astral Kingdom, with the 5. Again, like, it's just dumb. It's just dumb. It's not intelligent. Thank you, Melanie, for being a member for a month. I love that she is blaming this on her husband now. I thought she was in such a strong, independent woman. Well, there's that, but also I thought she was making him a sandwich. Like, Candace is nothing if she's not inconsistent. Thank you so much, No More 007. 007. With the $10 says this, I love you, Jason. Thank you for not being a coward. You have been an amazing friend to Charlie and his family and his business. You're You're the kind of friend I want to have. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you. That's very kind of you. Thank you for the 10. And thank you so much, Condela Williams, for being a member for 5 months. There was only one pew that went out. The only one person went down. So why would he be worried about about his wife's safety? Shout out for sure. Going to the man, she's saying it was weird that he was filming, he was live streaming. I want to see his live stream because if he was using a tripod, maybe he wasn't. Maybe he ducked, but his camera stayed up on the tripod. And I think that's probably what happened because Candace didn't show it. When she has something guaranteed, she shows it. That's just an observation I had. All right, let's see what she's talking about, the silliness about the game. Let's go. We're almost done.
What's going on? Like an Andre 3000 verse. Who killed Charlie Kirk? That to me is the ultimate referendum on what Turning Point USA is doing. It literally, even a blind man can see what we are all seeing, and yet you're trying to gaslight us into pretending like it's just all regular and that we are the bad guys.
Regular
He
schmegular.
goes on and he says, we live in an era where I can't say the N-words, twerk, and we live in an era where they pull wallets up out they purse. But I was raised in Zion and Nas I Am. And if I'm lying low, throw me in a den with the lions and 5 YNs. I think that's a gang. I'm sorry, I'm not up to date on gang stuff. Either way, behind these bars is shots flying. Decapitate you so-called goats without trying. Go head to head with CNN while bumping CNN. Leave in France, I'm still alive. Some I won't see again. Speak my truth until I'm in the position that she is in. Moral to the story, be cautious who you believe in. I love this. It's so great. I love that he incorporated France into this. And what he's saying, obviously, is like you have to fight these so-called goats. And honestly, they are like Baphomet worshippers. Okay, the goat thing is, I get what he's doing here. He is being punny in all the right ways. And you somehow, by speaking the truth, you become a threat and they want to kill you. Like they want to assassinate you. And they're laughing. They send out these nerds to laugh at you when you say that. And you don't know if you're like, people are like, lay low. Like, you shouldn't even go to Turning Point USA. What am I doing? I'm just telling the truth. And he's saying all of this.
But you said that, though, Candace. You're the one that said you're not going because you said they're going to hurt you. To
say, we're all going, like, we all should be putting ourselves in this position to speak the truth. And the moral of the story is that we should be very cautious in who we believe in. And I think that is how we all are feeling right now. Like we are suddenly recognizing that this authority is arbitrary, kind of the most grotesque, perverse humans that you could possibly imagine. I don't even think they're humans, to be honest, they're subhuman, happen to be running the world. For whatever reason, our governments think that it is a dramatic ask. Like we're almost saying it's okay. We'll be employees and debt slaves for the rest of our lives. We'll get back to work and we'll pay absurd taxes every day. Can you guys please just leave kids alone? And our government's like,
what are you talking about?
Sorry. Could you please just not poison us? Government's like, sorry, we can't do that. You guys are asking for way too much. You're listening to too much Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. It's too much. You guys, how could you think that we don't have a right to poison you and to poison the minds of your children? It is, like I said, I think such a good commentary on the state of things today. I hope I didn't say gun stuff. I'm not in any gangs, but I'm a gangsta. Yeah, I'm a gangsta. I think so. So anyways, if you guys would like to toss him some support and just to appreciate that we're at a moment where hopefully when he says like I was raised listening to Nas, what he means is like real hip hop, right? And people that were actually commenting on the state of things in an intellectual way. It's actually why I loved Jay-Z's music when I was growing up, and I kind of hated what he became. I think it is also reflective for Black America because so much we have been kind of transformed into the ultimate slaves of Baphomet, like this idea of freedom where I think we're all realizing right now we're not free. Like we are all slaves, and they give us products and iPhones and flat screen TVs and Hollywood and the Kardashians, and we're supposed to think that that's glamour and it's glitz, and that means that we're in a golden era. Nope. I think that there was not an enlightenment, but there was a darkening of mankind, and America is going to have to wake up real quick. So thank you for putting Charlie Kirk, memorializing him in that song to the game. Hopefully Next time you do it, I can be on the verse. Just like maybe just one little expression from this podcast. Everything is fake and gay. All right, we'll take a brief break and we will come back after the comments.
I don't think this woman is well. I think we are truly looking at somebody who's losing their minds. I don't think there's any other way to slice it, any other way to I'm sorry, I don't think she's well. I don't know, man. But Vanessa is well. Thank you so much for the 2. She says this. I really think she gets off at seeing Charlie. I agree that. I agree. She doesn't care about Charlie Kirk like she wants to, like she presents it. No, I think, as we've mentioned before, I think the real thing is she hated Charlie Kirk because Charlie Kirk did not choose her. And Charlie Kirk chose Erica. I think Erica was a part of the voices saying that Charlie needs to cut ties with her and fire her from TPUSA. So Charlie, TPUSA, and Erica are public enemies, number 1, 2, and 3. And I think that's really it. So she's been cosplaying like she cares about TPUSA and she's so worried about Charlie and blah, blah, blah. But really, at the end of the day, she wants her pound of flesh. Thank you so much, Amethyst Angel, for the 2. Says this. George is our handler. But who is handling George? I don't know. Where's George's hands at? That's a question that needs to be asked. Amethyst also said he agreed with Pope Benedict, the 16th vision of a smaller and more dogmatic church, closer to the church of the apostolic era. Cultish? I'm not certain who we were referring to, but shout out for sure. Thank you so much, Amethyst. Oh, wait, actually, it looks like it was another one. Sorry. Farmer is Catholic and earned a degree in theology from Oxford. He agreed with Pope Benedict XVI vision of a smaller church. Okay, there we go. That's what you were saying. Thank you so much for the 10. I don't really know all the ins and outs of what George believes. And if Candace is his disciple, I think we all say that what he believes is problematic. For sure. Thank you, our Lila Rose, for the $13.99, the $14 Canadian. Isn't it illegal to tamper with witnesses to a crime? Apparently it's not. I thought so too, but Candace is just doing it. Candace is just doing it. Like, I want to meet this guy. I want to talk to him. I want to find out what he was doing, what it's about. Dizzy Dolly with the 2. Thank you so much for the very kind super sticker. All right, let's see what your girls got to say. We're going to round these bases and get done.
Got to get your girl and make him a sandwich. Book, wrap it up, put it under the Christmas tree.
Get that book.
She's excited. She's a keeper. If she opens it and she's disappointed and she feels offended, I just don't know. You guys can get the book on Amazon now.
Get that book on Amazon.
If that's more convenient for you. If you want to get 20% off, you should head to makehimasandwich.com and you can buy it directly from us with no middlemen. And we are also now shipping to Candace at makehimasandwich.com.
Shipping to Candace.
Signed copies available only at CandaceOwens.com. Oh, I said Candace. We're not shipping to Candace. We're shipping to Canada. Thank you, Skylar. That's a good idea. It'd be weird if they bought books and we shipped them to me. That feels like a scam. We also have new merch available on the website.
Oh, my goodness.
Buy our Hate It or Love It, the underdogs on top. I love that.
All right.
I'm actually going to get the game to sign it for me, obviously.
All right. I am going to definitely let her go on and keep that. I don't want to promote her merch. I don't want to do that. I think that stuff is trash. All right. Let's bring this back in. Well, let's finish up. I'm going to get a maroon hoodie.
Just head to the About section. You'll scroll down and you will see the Want to Gift a Membership tab. Enjoy. I think that's great. I think that's very fun, especially for the book club. We really get into it. We get into a lot of trouble, but it's fun and it's way more laid back because I'm not worried about getting struck on YouTube. All right, let's get into some of your comments for today. Laughing
December
Cats
15th.
Writes, that's, by the way, a very big donation. Thank you. Holla at our girl Candace, supporting her, y'all. I think we need to remind the world that a news station at the CK Memorial talked to attendees for 3 hours, and none of them believed the FBI narrative. TPUSA can blame you all they want, but you are not changing minds. You are speaking to ours. That is so well said. Thank you for writing that, because I feel like I'm becoming a punching bag. All I'm doing is I'm voicing how everyone feels. Like I said, did I collaborate with the game to do the song? Everyone knows that what is being told to us is completely ridiculous. Let me also tell you guys something else that I forgot to mention. So remember, there's only 2 videos of the quote-unquote shooter on the roof. One which was shot from the side, where you see somebody crouched down holding a gun. Well, I had a follow-up call with the person who shot that video, and I asked him, I was like, can you confirm that you actually saw him take the shot? Because literally, he's recording him at 12:23, right? He said, no, I didn't see him take the shot. I never saw any recoil. This guy has experience in guns. He teaches people to shoot guns. And he said, and I did not say that that was, remember, he told us early on, that's not the person that I saw. I saw somebody in tactical gear. And I have seen so much about people saying, yeah, this is the video. I've seen so many people debating whether or not he put the gun back together. He's like, I can say that none of that happened. So I asked him, did Tyler Robinson's defense lawyer reach out to you? No. Have the feds reached out to you since I called you? No. There's only 2 people that have cameras of this person on the roof, and you are telling me that he hasn't been like automatically subpoenaed into the court case? Again, every layer of this is BS, and we know it. And you can't just, spit in our faces and tell us that it's raining. And that's what it feels like they're trying to do. Curbster writes, so the best spokesman at TPUSA, that TPUSA has to present a BS invitation to CO is a guy who was fired by Tucker Carlson for racist remarks. No wonder TPUSA is failing. No one is buying it. None of them deserved to breathe the same air as Charlie, much less call him their friend. I actually, a few of you have commented about, I actually didn't know that Blake Neff used to work for Tucker Carlson when Tucker Carlson was on Fox News. I'm going to ask Tucker Carlson about Blake Neff, because I'm not feeling his vibes. Remember I said before I believed him. Now I'm just like, no, now he's just doing too much. Nope. He's lying. He's a liar that lies, okay? After extending an invitation and saying, we sincerely invite Candace to join us on the live stream, he then tweets, I don't know if we have the tweet where he just like says, no, it was never meant to be, like, we know that that's not an invitation. Do you have that tweet? I don't know if I send that to you, Skylar. We can pull it up later. But now they're pretending like they were never sincere. Oh yeah, here it is. Of course, it's not how you book a guest. We are not booking a guest and never said that we were. We are delivering a response to several months of escalating harassment and lies. She was given the opportunity to join and declined. That's just a lie. Like, you're just like, how can we accept that anything you...
It is so odd that Candace can start the fight, start the fire, yell and get everything going, and then claim the victim when things don't go the way that she anticipated. That is amazing. Like, she said she wanted the Macrons to sue her. She said that, but then she gets it all butthurt when they sue her. You said you've been calling TPUSA strange and shady and moving differently, and tacitly said they killed Charlie Kirk. But then when they say they're gonna reply to you, you get in your feelings. This is some crazy work, man. Cantifa, this is your girl.
Guys say in this live stream is going to be true when you are lying to us right now. I never declined an offer to join your live stream, okay? You never insinuated that it had to be in person, and you made it seem like it was a live stream, which meant that as long as we could get there, of course, any place you can live stream, literally any place, anytime. That's what tech allows for. And now you're pretending like the terms were very clear and that it was going to be 24 hours. And I had to, like, it's like everyone can see through it. So we are now adding you to the pile of TPUSA BS officers. Okay. I'm going to figure out what happened with Tucker. Tucker will tell me the truth. You watch out. Tucker will tell me the truth. I text my friend Tucker, my only friend Tucker, according to Adam Sosnick. Tucker's my only friend. Corey Henry writes, Candace, you don't think that they would hesitate to take a whole plane down to get to you? They would, and they don't care. I love you and I'm praying for you. Christ is king. Look, I do
a
think
whole
it would
plane.
be one of the dumbest moves ever if they coordinated my assassination at Turning Point USA headquarters. I mean, that would just be, yeah, I would like to think the feds are smarter than that. But, you know, it is being run by Kash Patel and he thinks his girlfriend's music is sensational. So maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Top Class T writes, make things right with Black people so that we can throw our support behind you. Quote, no permanent allies or enemies, only permanent interests. Cut the check. I don't know what cut the check means, but
that sounds retarded.
I don't know how to make things right with Black.
That sounds retarded. I don't. Okay. I just want to bring up something again. I'm going to bring this back in. Candace just said in front of all of us again that they did not say it had to be live. Let me just make sure. Just listen to this.
If Candace is available, we would sincerely welcome her participation in that live stream at our studio here in Phoenix. At this
Is that not saying that she needs to be in the studio in Phoenix?
point, we believe the ball is back in her court.
So I accept it with whistles and bells, everything. I fully accept. You can pick the place, you can pick the time at 4 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. local time on Monday, December 15th from Charlie's Phoenix studio. Our offer from yesterday holds. If Candace wishes to join us in person in Phoenix, you can pick the place, you can pick the time. Obviously, leading up to Christmas, that's the last week of our show. Obviously, it's a pretty busy week. You can pick the place, you can pick the time, but no, they need to have it in person in Phoenix on December 15th, or they cannot have me at all.
If Candace is available, we would
not-
sincerely welcome her participation in that live stream.
I mean, whatever, Candace. At this point, I feel comfortable in just saying whatever, Candace. Just whatever. You're just lying. Just lying for friends.
Black people, I don't know what that means because I feel like I've always been right with Black people because I'm Black.
Okay.
So I feel like I've always been cool with everything I said. I just tell the truth. I don't really care how people feel.
Didn't I also, come on, now didn't your boy say eventually she was going to pull out the black card and talk about how she was Black? Okay. I just want to make sure I said it.
And so I feel like during BLM, Black people were really mad at me because I was telling the truth, but then the truth ended up being the truth. And BLM was a scam and they were buying themselves houses. So maybe Black people should make up with me. That's what I want.
Wow.
I want people who supported BLM to make up with me. And
Wow.
I will accept your apology. Tim Morgan writes, the truth is its own self-evident and unassailable defense. We love you, Candace. Thank you, Tim. Crown Heights Brainiac writes, Candace, please go live when they have their live stream and do a live reaction. Team Petty. I saw that request and we can confirm that we are going to live stream their live stream and live respond to the live stream that is not actually a live stream that's interested in getting to the truth. I also love that they're now trying to cage it. Like they were doing this live stream to respond irrespective of me when their entire introduction to this live stream was him speaking for 10 minutes and assassinating my character. And now it's like, oh, this isn't about Candace. We're going to do this irrespective. And again, I don't love the fact that he heavily implies that Erica sanctioned that. He obviously didn't write it himself. And she's a CEO, and it would follow that a CEO would read that. Why allow for those lies in there and misrepresentations? I don't get that. And I do hope she attends because these would be my questions. Also, Erica, if you're watching, can I submit to you a list of 5 questions? Since it has to be in person and whatever, because of like intuitive stuff or something. If that is the requirement, can I submit like Candace's top 5 questions? Can we do that? Or is that too hard? It has to be in person or something. Again, we're trying to bend over back.
It's funny that she said that Blake Neff was condescending. It's just funny, man. The things that she says and the things that she does, her words and her actions have never met one another. They're going in 2 different directions. Because her actions are 100% exactly what her words describe other people as doing. That's crazy work. Okay.
Courts here to make this work somehow. And we are very open to it. And we have never once declined this. We told you the truth, which was that it's virtually impossible. It's not actually the opposite. It is very virtually possible for me to appear on December 15th. And I don't see a reason why not to allow that. Dubious Maximus writes, I knew it. They wouldn't do a Zoom live, but in person only. The debate is rigged against you. And if you don't go in person, they will say the matter is closed. They answer all questions and won't accept further inquiries. You are correct, at least that the new format of TPUSA campus events is that students have to tell them ahead of time what they're going to ask. We have received a flurry of emails to that effect. And I do sense this is going to be fake and gay. I'm going to hope for the best, but it's already feeling pretty fake and gay. It hasn't even started. So Candy Renee writes, go Max. Anna Rosas writes, Barry Weiss is interviewing Eric Kirk on December 13th. All is lining up with this December 15th show. Barry is going to pressure Erica into disavowing your claims. That way you have to stop investigating into CK's assassination. There's always a reason for everything. I saw some news about Barry sitting down with her. I thought that it was actually that she's going somewhere where New York Times is hosting or CBS is hosting. I don't know what it is.
Why does she never look up?
Stuff until things
Why does she never look up?
Happen. Don't need to surmise about what the future is going to be, but I'm assuming she's going to be at the December 15th event based on what Blake Neff has said. I'd like to know if I'm right about that. And yeah, I don't run my household. My husband, when I said December 15th, rushed right to him when I saw the text confirmation or the tweet confirmation. And he said December 15th absolutely does not work. I cannot make December 15th work. So Allison Berry writes, Iron Lady of America going max for Charlie. Thank you, Allison. And lastly, Sarah writes, praying for you every day. I am so sad to see what has happened to TP USA. It makes me sick. I loved Charlie and his work. I felt hope. I don't think Charlie would be okay with this. I also feel sad for Erica, and I feel sad for his kids. I do feel sad that it is seemingly all burning to the ground very quickly, and that they do not have enough forthright character to assess what they are doing that is causing this. You know, it's like they think it's like the world against them, and the world could not have been more behind them when Charlie was assassinated. So if you have lost favor with the world, I'm talking about the organization, by the way, not obviously his kids and Erica. Well, I guess Erica is now the CEO, but if the organization has lost favor with the world so quickly, and your excuse is, well, this is Candace's fault, and you send Blake Neff out to lie, it's because you're deluding yourselves. And this organization, in my view, has become completely delusional. So there's that. I'm not going to mince words.
That's
least of all because I want an organization that isn't staying true to their own principles of free speech and inquiry to do well. The ghost of Charlie Kirk, that's not an appetizing enough of an offer to make me stand behind an organization that no longer seems to be engaged in telling the truth. So anyways, you guys, we will see you on Monday.
That is crazy work. Wow. That woman takes absolutely no responsibility, no accountability whatsoever. Not even the thumb check. I guarantee you, if Turning Point were to close its doors tomorrow, and by the way, I spoke to somebody who went to Turning Point this past Monday. He was there Monday. Turning Point is not in the state that most people are getting their temperature check of Turning Point from Candace and from Twitter. That's not realistic. That's not how it's looking. According to this person, they're doing way better than she's projecting and where Twitter is making you think. So, but let me just say this. Like, I guarantee you, if Turning Point were to close its doors today, if they'll be like, look, we're shutting down, we're closing it, we're scuttling, shutting down, everybody go home, go find new jobs. Candace would somehow or another take responsibility for that. Even if it were in a roundabout way, she would take responsibility. And I think really she wants to see, as I said before, Turning Point is run by Erica Kirk now. Charlie did not choose Candace. Candace wants to see Turning Point fail because Charlie did not rock with her, did not choose her to be his wife, and therein is the problem. That's what I'm going to go with. Shout out for sure. What would Stacy say here with the 5? She says this: Candace just wants a chance to further harass Erica because she's a jealous demon. She wants her team there because she needs them in her ear. R.I.P. CK. I agree. No argument for me at all. Thank you for the very kind 5. What does Amethyst say? Shout out to Amethyst. We should file a class action as concerned viewers. We'll all need biblical counseling, especially the dum-dums, aka Cantifas. You're 1,000% correct. That would be hilarious. A class action would be crazy. Thank you so much, Christina Jean with the 2. Candy can stream on her hub's birthday. What's the problem? You know what? I totally missed that. Hold on, wait. He has so much going on that she could still stream. I totally missed that. How did that get past me? Shout out to Christine Jean. I missed that. That did not hit me. Shout out for sure. I'm mad I missed that. Curtis, thank you so much, brother, for the 2. She's a classic case of she can dish it out, but she can't take it. I mean, good night. Don't she get mad when people pick on her? I mean, really, great day. She is mad. Thank you so much, Curtis, man, for supporting the channel, man. Very kind of you. Thank you. Stephanie says this with a $2 super. Looks like Candace really can't handle that smoke. You know good and well she does not want Erica to be in that room. You know good and well. If Turning Point sent her 10 dates and said any one of these dates you have to be in the studio, you know good and well she'll find a problem with every one of them. If they said you give us the date that you could come, she won't be able to make it. You just know it. There's no date ever that I can travel because I'm homeschooling my 1-year-old. That's what's going to happen. There's never going to be a day that she could come. I mean, I almost kind of want, even though I just said I don't want TPUSA to do any more, I kind of wonder if TPUSA say, fine, here's a blank piece of paper. Give us a date that you can come. And we will make it work the day that you can come. I think that would be even better. Even though I don't want them to do it, but I would love, because I guarantee you, she's gonna be like, there's no day in the next 6 years that I could come to Phoenix. Shout out to Amethyst. He was crystal clear about their studio. He clearly invited her to their studio. I agree. Thank you so much for that. And MC says this, bet Charlie would prefer being memorialized via a revival, TPUSA chapters in the Boulevard and Holiday over the game lyrics, notice, in which she celebrates. That's a great point. Y'all paying attention. Y'all are paying attention. Because again, anything that resembles a spiritual awakening, spiritual enlightenment, growing in Christ likeness, nah. But the game is my age, man. So he's a whole grown man out putting out mixtapes. Okay. Thank you so much for that. What do we got here? MK with the $5 says this. So grateful for Jason in the chat. It's the only way I can watch Candace and maintain my sanity. I tried ignoring her, but can't. It's personal for me. Shout out. Thank you so much. We're glad to have you for sure. And then, of course, Sylvia says this with the 5. I knew that TPUSA should have never invited her. They should have just responded, then sued the crap out of her. Now that I can rock with. Now it's just more fuel for Cantifa. I want her, hey, they can still sue her though. Please understand. They can still sue her. Because she said some egregious things and putting out some pretty bad work. But that's what I'm wondering. Like, what is it going to take for her? Anyway, we'll see. Y'all, thank you so much for rocking with us. I did have, that was painful for sure. I did have another quick, I'm not going to do my body cam. I'll do the body cams tomorrow. But there is a young lady who I thought she did a great job. And she broke down what is called Candace's mental state. Actually, this video is a little bit longer than I thought. Darn it. I didn't realize it was 30 minutes long. Goodness gracious. All right. This one, I do not want y'all to give y'all a long video. So I am going to pull up the one looking at the Macrons, because I do think that we're going to hear, I'm hoping that we'll hear something new about the Macrons, something solid, something that's really moving the needle. Because we did hear, by the way, that the Macrons have asked that the judge throws out the request for the case to be dismissed. So that's the last that we heard. And I don't think anything's been updated since I've been online. But this young lady, outside of Pluto, did a great job of breaking down what's going on with Candace. I thought it would be fun. So let's bring it in. Green hearts in chat when you can hear.
Brigitte Macron. At this point, the entire world practically knows about the defamation lawsuit that the president of France and his wife have filed against Candace Owens in the United States. By the way, I didn't mention this, but Candace did file a motion to dismiss back in September, I believe. I'll briefly talk about it towards the end of the video, just to let you know what her grounds for dismissal are. But first, I would like to discuss a trial, a criminal trial that has just recently concluded. The verdict hasn't been released yet. We're going to have to wait for January. Filed by Brigitte Macron last year in 2024 against 10 defendants for alleged online harassment. So this is not a civil case, which is the nature of the case filed against Candace. These people, if found guilty, could face up to 2 years in prison for social media posts that they have made in relation to Brigitte Macron's gender, questions surrounding it, and the age gap between her and her now husband. So the 10 defendants, who are all French citizens as per my understanding, aged between 41 to 60 and all deny wrongdoing, have been accused of making numerous malicious comments about Brigitte Macron's gender and sexuality, even equating her age difference with her husband to pedophilia, according to prosecutors. In Brigitte's complaint to the police, she informed them that these comments were, quote, hateful, and that it had become incredibly difficult for her grandchildren because they go to school, and her daughter has testified saying that her children's lives in school have become nightmares because people have started allegedly bullying them and telling them, oh, your grandma's a man. Now, these defendants, by the way, are not famous podcasters or online personalities like Candace Owens. From my understanding, they are regular citizens, private citizens. One of them is an IT technician, Jerome, who's 49 years old. And he claimed that this is all just, sarcasm. This is all humor. It's a joke. He has a very small following on Twitter, and his posts were all made in a, quote, satirical spirit. Jerome even told the head judge that, quote, like a lot of people, I'm asking why I'm here today. Today, you can send people to court for tweets, end quote. He went on to say that Brigitte Macron, as a very powerful person, should accept being criticized. He denied harassment, of course, and said that he believed that he hadn't broken the law. Another defendant by the name of Jerome C. I don't know if these are pseudonyms just to protect their privacy, but they could just be a very common name in France, Jérôme, told the court that he liked posting on social media from his sofa and it was all just humor, saying, quote, do you need a permit in France to crack a joke? End quote. He did, however, admit to sharing posts about Brigitte being a man or a pedophile in order to inform others, but he denied harassment. Now, this is interesting because this is a bit of a contradiction here. On the one hand, he says it's a joke, but on the other, he's saying, I'm raising awareness. I'm informing people. The two don't really go hand in hand. You don't raise awareness about a joke. Interestingly, among the defendants is a woman whom you might all have heard of before. Amandine Roy is her pseudonym or her nickname that she goes by. The medium who was sued for defamation by Brigitte Macron for spreading the rumor, starting the rumor that Brigitte is allegedly a man. Now, this defamation case, while initially won by Brigitte, was later overturned recently, relatively recently, by the Court of Appeal in Paris because the comments were found to have been made without malice. But here she is. Brigitte is not letting her go as a defendant now in this criminal trial, which is obviously a lot more serious and consequential than a civil trial because she can risk having a criminal record along with the other defendants. Just to get the obvious out of the way, yes.
Okay, real quick. This is Lost Beyond Pluto. The link is in the chat. I think Tina just dropped it as well as I did. Check her out. Great content creator. I like her accent. Okay, here it comes. I'm going to put out another I do not want you to do this, okay? And so basically, tacitly, I want you to do this. I need somebody who's creative. I need you to take red crane, blue plane, yellow and purple planes, green hoodies, maroon shirts. I need that to be put into a poem like Dr. Seuss style. I need a Dr. Seuss style poem making fun of Candace's conspiracies. The red crane, the blue plane, the yellow, the purple plane, the green hoodies. Is there any others? And then the maroon shirts. I need that. I need that comedy. I need that in my life. So please, I'm asking you for that comedy, dearwokec@gmail.com. I need it. I think she's Australian by way of Britain, and she lives in France now. I don't, her story is, she explained it. I'm like, whoa, she's all over the place. It's crazy. So anyway, I'm just gonna put it out there. Let the Lord use you. Be inspired.
Of course, you can technically prosecute people for online harassment and cyberbullying. Even though I moved to France earlier this year, I qualified as a lawyer in Australia. I do not work as a lawyer in France, by the way. It is a civil law system, so entirely different from our common law system. So I'm not too well versed with the French ways, as it were. But in Australia, cyberbullying and online harassment, stalking, are also prosecutable crimes. However, the difference being, seriously, when was the last time you heard of someone successfully being prosecuted for the shenanigans that they get up to online? I personally have had a stalker and a harasser for years, the same person in real life and online. And while I did successfully get a restraining order, courts were involved, and that seemed to have dealt with the issue, thankfully. I mean, I'm now in a different country, but it never needed to go as far as criminal charges. However, I'm going to be honest with you, I doubt that it would ever have gone to court. Because think about it. There are millions of people getting harassed and bullied online as we speak. And if every single one of them was prosecuted, there would be no more spaces available in prison. All right. So this is a severely under prosecuted crime. And I believe it does stir up a very interesting conversation with this being a very high profile case. Because on the one hand, it is arguable that these crimes, alleged crimes, should be prosecuted and taken seriously. They can drive people to ending their own lives if they go out of control. I went through years of feeling incredibly fearful for my life. In fact, it's the reason I moved out of Australia. And so these things are quite serious. On the other hand, I do find it quite elitist that, of all people, the wife of a president was able to file criminal charges and have them successfully prosecuted for alleged online bullying and harassment. So I suppose the discussion is, well, should we just open up this avenue for everyone, not just presidents and the wives of presidents? Or is this a step too far, and are we veering towards really draconian medieval ways of censorship? Where should we draw the line? Should lies and rumors be defeated through defamation claims? Well, here's the problem. Defamation can only be brought by people who can afford to do so. And so
shout out to Tina for blessing somebody with a membership. If you got a membership from Tina, make sure you say thank you. Thank you, Tina, for blessing them. Let's keep it going.
So again, we get into this discrepancy in terms of what avenues are available for the rich and powerful and what avenues are available for the rest of us. This case raises quite a few interesting questions. First of all, why is Brigitte pursuing the criminal avenue rather than another defamation case against all of these defendants? I do wonder whether she went down this criminal route because of the fact that her defamation claim had been defeated. She is appealing it. Apparently she and her brother, Jean-Michel Trogneux, are appealing that ruling. As I said, the French legal system is so foreign to me. They don't necessarily have the standards of proof that we are used to in common law jurisdictions such as Australia and the United States. So, for instance, in common law, the burden of proof in criminal cases is much higher, being beyond a reasonable doubt, whereas in civil cases, which defamation falls under, it's on the balance of probabilities or the preponderance of the evidence. So at least a 51% chance that the allegation took place. In France, the standard of proof is personal conviction, where judges determine guilt based on their personal conviction formed from the proof presented. Again, I'm not too well versed at all with the intricacies of that. So is that a difficult standard? It would be very interesting to hear, I suppose, from French lawyers, if anyone's watching, but it doesn't read as high level, I suppose, or as strict. Not to mention that the judges are free to determine guilt rather than a jury panel. This could explain why Brigitte decided to go down the criminal route because, well, it's a lot scarier, a much more effective deterrent to other people, and also the standard may not be that much more difficult than pursuing a defamation case. Not to mention the government deals with criminal prosecutions rather than Brigitte having to pay out of her own pocket. The other interesting question that can arise here is freedom of expression, I suppose. France doesn't have the exact, same First Amendment that America enjoys. They do have protections for freedom of speech, but hate speech is specifically excluded, and you can be liable for criminal prosecution in addition to defamation. This isn't unique to France. In Australia, as I mentioned, you can be criminally prosecuted for what you say and do online. It's just that it rarely happens. The rest of us are left to suffer, while elitists who run the government are allowed to use and bend the law to their will. So if you ask me, if the president's wife is allowed to bring criminal accusations against people for online harassment, then that avenue should be open to the rest of us. And the police should really stop turning down civilians who show up and say, hey, help me, I fear for my life, which isn't even the level of harassment and fear that is being instilled in Brigitte. This is all making her life difficult, according to her, but it's not exactly putting her life at risk. I have made it clear that I don't know the truth when it comes to the nature of the allegations surrounding Brigitte's gender. They claim that they can scientifically prove in their trial against Candace Owens, if it gets to trial, that Brigitte is a woman. But it goes without saying that if these claims are indeed untrue, then one can understand how they can cause severe distress to someone in Brigitte Macron's position. Interesting question for you. Was Jérôme C. right? Should she, as a wife of a president, have a thicker skin and just accept that this level of scrutiny and criticism comes with the territory? Or are people taking it too far? Other than the whole gender question, of course, comes the age gap and the pedophile accusations. This one is a lot more, I hate this word, but nuanced than the other. And I say that because it is undeniable that the way in which Brigitte and Macron met and formed their relationship when he was 14 and she was basically 40 is very questionable, to say the least. And if anything, people should be allowed to raise their eyebrows and comment on the age discrepancy. Now, whether we can full on call her a pedophile, I mean, look, we weren't there. Their official story is that nothing inappropriate happened until Macron was of age. And that is all we have to go by for now. It doesn't look like any of these defendants have any evidence to prove the accusation, because they all seem to rely on the defense of, this was just satire, it's just a joke. This isn't something to be taken seriously. Now, to argue that someone is a pedophile or to...
Okay, but to be fair, the Macrons admitted in the lawsuit against Candace Owens that Emmanuel was like 15 and she was like 39. That's still super creepy. My only question is, what are they supposed to do now? Because they're adults now. They're married even. I don't know what they're supposed to do, but they did admit it. So I don't think that part is not even like a secret anymore. That's like a public secret. It's common knowledge that whether he's 14, 15, or 16, he was a child and she was a whole grown woman. Her daughter was in his class, for crying out loud. Come on, man. Come on.
State that someone is a pedophile is not technically a statement of opinion. It's a statement of fact. I've said in prior videos that a statement of fact is something that can be proven to either be true or false. It's kind of black and white, whereas opinions are gray. And to say that someone is a pedophile or a groomer is something that can be either proven or disproven. Now, you can always argue that it's an opinion. That argument will always be open to the other side. I'm just saying that by the strict definition of a statement of fact, it doesn't look like opinion would cut it. Which brings me to Candace Owens. We've discussed her case before. I've briefly listed what the Macrons have to prove and to what standard to be victorious in trial. Candace has filed a motion to dismiss back in September, and it's really primarily based on the court's jurisdiction. The case has been filed in Delaware because that is where her companies, which own the podcast, which produce the podcast, I guess, are based. In a nutshell, just very broadly, Candace is arguing that's not sufficient to establish jurisdiction over Candace. She lives in Tennessee. The greatest harm was done in France. And so Delaware has nothing to do with it. It's going to cause undue hardship on Candace to have to go to Delaware to face trial. And she's arguing that the statute of limitations that should apply is the French one, which is only 3 months, believe it or not, when it comes to defamation cases. I wonder if that's why Brigitte went down the criminal route again here, because maybe the statute of limitations elapsed. 3 months is really nothing. Whereas in the States, specifically in Delaware, it's 2 years. And
Okay. And again, I don't know this I'm not a lawyer, I'm not in law school or anything of that nature. But Candace is, I don't know when does a defamation count? Because Candace has been saying it indefinitely. She's been saying it since as long as this lawsuit has been present and active. But then also, I want to talk about that jurisdiction, because I don't think the judge is not going to throw out that case or dismiss that case because of jurisdiction. And I mentioned it before, Candace sued USA Today back in 2021 from Delaware. So clearly she can do this. And the bad thing is she knows that. So when she says things like, I don't know why they're suing me in Delaware, ma'am, that's where your business is. That's where your LLC is. And that's where she sued her USA Today from there. Now, granted, they didn't use that 920 building, but I digress. Let's go.
so she's arguing they're forum shopping. They picked the most convenient forum for them, and they shouldn't be allowed to do that. I still have no word on what the ruling is regarding that motion to dismiss. If it's successful, if somehow Candace manages to pull this off, well, at least the trial in Delaware isn't going to go anywhere. All this to say, it looks like Brigitte Macron really is going to stop at nothing to quash these rumors and allegations, whether it's in France and whether it's Candace Owens in the United States. I think she's really going to push this as far as she can. She definitely has the resources. I mean, her husband is the president, to push this as far as she can. I feel like I'm a broken record when I say I highly doubt a private citizen would have been able to convince the police to prosecute one defendant, let alone 10, for serious accusations of online harassment and bullying. But here we are, I suppose, in a cynical way. This is elitism at its finest.
All right, let me grab my phone because I know somebody's about to text me. Yep, there you go. I knew it. Somebody was going to text me, tell me I was muted. Darn. I wasn't cooking, though. Don't worry about it. That was Lost Beyond Pluto. Great content creator. I'm hoping that we'll find out something new on the Macron case, as well as the 10 defendants in France. So I got another text. I'm going to get better, I promise you. I did pretty good, man. It's my first time in like 2 days. Anyway, y'all, thank y'all so much. By the way, thank you again, Curtis. Man, thank you so much, Curtis, for blessing what we're doing here. Even as recent as the 80s, Europe doesn't have the same adult minor laws. They largely still didn't. I think you're saying I don't believe. And that's wild. And I don't, as bad as that story is between Brigitte and Emmanuel, what do y'all want to do? Okay, they've already admitted that they was super sketchy. He was 15 or 16, which is crazy. She was almost 40, which is insane. But now they're married. What are they supposed to do? Like, I don't get it. Are you supposed to divorce him and throw her in jail? Like, what's supposed to happen? I don't know. Anyway, but thank y'all so much, everybody, for rocking with us. It's been a busy night, and we got a lot to do. So I'm going to be redoing my studio tonight and tomorrow. I will be back on Sunday. I got a good show planned for Sunday, so we'll be doing that. I do have a lot of videos that are dropping tomorrow, so we got stuff to look at. I'll probably see you somewhere out here in these internet streets, these YouTube suburbs, wherever we are. I appreciate y'all for sure. Thank you to all of the super chats everybody who was, thank you, Tina, for extending out some gifted memberships. Thank you to all of the very gracious and very kind supers. Thank you to our stream sponsor, Amanda, up in here. Thank you so very much for that. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. Thank y'all for rocking with us. It's been a long week because we had every day this week we had some Candace, and that was, look, we might need to go purge ourselves, maybe fast for the night or something. Drink some extra water or something. I don't know, man. It's been crazy. But thank y'all so much for rocking with us. If you don't mind, please make sure you tip your waiters on the way out the door. Make sure you drop those green hearts. Let everybody know that we appreciate you all. Thank you again to all of you all. It's a lot. It's a lot. So I appreciate each and every one of y'all. I'll see you somewhere again out there in the YouTube streets. We'll be doing this again Sunday, probably at 6 o'clock. It depends. I think Lady Dear World Christian and my daughter are going to be out. So maybe I'll have some time. I can do some more and show you all the new studio. Anyway, y'all, thank you so much. I'll see you all real soon. Grace and peace. Take care. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Jay Witt Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.